very much, and welcome to what is a gorgeous day in Detroit, Michigan. We are in downtown and getting ready for baseball. Some of the stars on display, whether it's Miguel Cabrera, Torrey Hunter, Austin Jackson on the other side, Adrian Beltre. It's a good matchup here at Comerica in Detroit. It's the Texas Rangers and the Detroit Tigers. And welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck, Tom Verducci, Harold Reynolds, Ken Rosenthal coming up here today. We've got a fun matchup for you today. There's so much to talk about. The Texas Rangers have been through a rash of injuries. We'll get to that with Harold in just a second. It'll be a theme running throughout our broadcast. But on this side, I've got Tom Verducci. And my friend, you can go any different way you want with the Detroit Tigers. You can talk their pitching. You can talk whatever. But let's talk about the hitting, and in particular, three guys that are absolutely red hot over this past month. No doubt. And Ron Washington, the Rangers manager, said his young pitcher, Nick Martinez, is so cool he doesn't have a pulse. We'll find out right away, because three of those first four hitters in that Tigers lineup are among the top 5 hitters in the league. Talking about Ian Kinsler, Miguel Cabrera, and Victor Martinez. Actually, in last night's game, during different parts of that game, each of them led the league in hitting. And Joe, what I really like about these three guys, in an age where we see so many strikeouts and shifts because hitters pull the ball, these three guys put the ball in play, and they use the entire field. So you have to honor the entire field defensively. Ian Kinsler was with Texas. Last night he had 3 doubles for the Tigers. Let's talk about the Rangers. I mean, it's ridiculous. They lose Prince Fielder. They're probably going to be without Jurickson and Profar all year long. They've got so many guys on the DL. How do they piece this together? Who do they lean on to try to make it at least interesting in Arlington?
Well, it's going to be the veteran guys. You got to think about Elvis Andrus has got to get going. But the main guy, not Rios, but it's going to be Beltre, the third baseman. Adrian Beltre, the all-star player, is going to really have to step his game up. You hate to say it, put it on one guy. It's going to be the collective group. But when you start thinking about the Rangers, don't forget how great a player this guy is. Now, will his numbers be affected a little bit without Prince Fielder? No doubt about it. But I watched him take batting practice today. He was on fire. He feels good. He's confident. And the main thing will be, can you get the stars going? Because they're dealing right now, Joe, with a bunch of guys that have come out of AA ball and AAA ball to try to carry the ship here. 16 guys on the disabled list throughout the course of the year. 17 different times have had players on. $76 million on their payroll that has been on the disabled list right now. 56% of the payroll. Joe?
Yeah, it's really hard to imagine what they've been through already in what is a short 2014 regular season. You see Rick Porcello getting ready to go to work, and he's been on fire. As Harold mentioned, talking about what's going on with this Detroit team. In particular, Porcello's won 6 straight. How about the lineup for Texas? Shin-Soo Choo will lead it off. He's been hitting third back in the top spot. Then Elvis Andrus batting in the number 2 spot at short. Moreland, Beltre, Alex Rios in right. Jimenez is the catcher. Leonis Martin is in center. Donnie Murphy, fresh off the DL, is the DH. And Rougned Odor is batting the number 9 spot. He's the second baseman. Here's Rick Porcello. And what happened here, guys, was the Tigers ended up trading Doug Fister to the Nationals. It seemed like it was going to be one or the other. They hung on to Porcello. Fister, a slow start on the disabled list, now back off. But Porcello's just blossomed here this season.
He really has. Hard to believe, still only 25 years old, Joe, but it's really, if you could do this after 900 major league innings, having a breakout season. We'll talk about a much more complete pitcher than he was when he first came up in the big leagues.
Here is Choo. He is outstanding, the number 1 spot in any order, whether it's with the Indians, with the Reds, or now with the Rangers. First pitch is a strike. He's got a high on base percentage. You see what he's done on the road this season, hitting over 400. His on base percentage at .431. That's the best in baseball. They need him in the leadoff spot. Because of the injuries to other guys in their lineup, he can also pop a home run, deliver runs. So they've had him in the number 3 spot at times this week. Ball and a strike from Porcello on a beautiful day, and that runs Choo off the plate to make it 2-1. Here in Detroit, they have this weekend a chance to honor the Negro League players for the 12th season. Negro Leagues weekend here in Detroit. Here's a ground ball, base hit right side. And Chu is on to start the day for the Rangers.
Well, Joe, you touched on it. That's one of the reasons they signed him to the contract. Obviously, a lot of people talk about his on-base percentage because it's been so great. This guy can hit. You know, he gets a fastball inside, takes it through the hole. He uses the full field. He does a lot of great things for you on the offensive side. So, you know, you're going to invest that kind of money. You can put him in the middle, in the top, and down. And now Elvis Andrus has fallen into the 2 spot where he's best and most effective, I think. He can move things around. And this is how they're going to have to do it.
Elvis has had a rough time this season with runners in scoring position. You saw his average 245 overall. As he bats with a man aboard, and the first from Porcello is poured in over the outside corner, strike 1. So for this 12th annual Negro Leagues weekend, the Tigers are wearing throwback uniforms of the Detroit Stars, and the Rangers are wearing the uniforms once worn by the Fort Worth, Texas Black Panthers.
Wouldn't surprise me to see Washington start a runner during this sequence.
A chopper to third. Picked up and thrown over to first for the out by Castellanos as the rookie makes the play. Down to second is Chu. 1 away. Take a look at the defense. You know that Castellanos is at third base. It's Andrew Romine at short with Ian Kinsler at second base. Miguel Cabrera at first, and around the outfield is Davis, Jackson, and Hunter. Avila does the catching for Porcello, who now will work with a runner at second and 1 out and face the number 3 hitter Mitch Moreland, who last night delivered the only RBIs for the Rangers with a 2-run double and a short-lived 2-0 lead.
And Moreland's getting a chance to play every day with Prince Fielder having surgery out for the rest of the season. He's going to play first base. Now he was DHing, but you know, it's nice to already have had reps and been swinging the bat early in the season to be now thrust into full-time duty instead of being cold and saying, all right, we just called you up, go play. So that is a little bit of an advantage for him.
So a runner at second with 1 out. And a strike is in with a fastball from Porcello to Moreland. And there you go. 2 runs or less in 18 games this season. That's not good. 38% of the time, third most. And Ron Washington has been frustrated, to say the least, not just with the injuries, but with the guys who are here and healthy.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing he touched on in our meeting this morning was the fact that they've been behind in so many games that they can't even manufacture runs. So for them to get a lead, it's probably more important than obviously with the Tigers, who are going to pound you a little bit more. What do you think of that knowledge, Tom?
Well, I think without the Thunder in the lineup, and that's why I thought about Washington starting a runner. Porcello's not a big swing and miss guy, and he's a strike thrower, a guy who's around the plate with runners on base. If I'm Ron Washington, I want to push the envelope, because my guys are going to put the ball in play. And without Fielder in the lineup and some of that Thunder, I do think you're going to have to manufacture a little more, especially early in the game.
Now, hold on, Joe. You see the conference at the mound. I'm just getting here now before Tom starts boiling. This is one of his pet peeves in baseball. He doesn't like the conversations at the mound.
He doesn't?
No.
Well, too many of them. You just had 5 hours before the game to go over your signs, guys. Suddenly a guy gets on second base and it's news. You got to go to a new sequence.
I told you. Hold on.
1 ball, 1 strike. Breaking ball in for a strike from Porcello, strike 2. There's only one real way to speed up the game, in my opinion, and that's for the umpire to call the full strike zone.
I agree. I think you got to start calling at least the high strike.
So you guys want more strikeouts in the game?
Yeah.
I want them swinging the bat.
Here's a 1-2.
I think it would force the hitters to be a little more aggressive. Because if you know, look, if you picked it up, say it's a 2-1 count, what are you going to do as a hitter? We used to play this game all the time when I was growing up. You had a 2-1 count when you got in the box. You got to swing the bat. And I think all the patience of trying to work pitchers has caused the offense to strike out so much. That's just a thought.
Ball and 2 strikes with a runner at second. Porcello with another long look in, finally gets his sign and deals it in the dirt as Avila blocks it 2-2.
Joe, he's nodding his head. Yeah, he kind of. I got to him. I got to Tom on that.
I'm open to any ideas that will make this game move quicker. People talk about time of game. Forget that. That's not the issue. The issue is the pace of the game. Now we see here that Moreland stepping out of the batter's box, getting himself mentally ready for this pitch. It happens every pitch throughout the game.
There's some thinking that goes into it. These guys guess a lot, so that's what they do.
2-2 the count. Porcello trying to get around that leadoff hit by Chu. Another one in the dirt, another one blocked by Avila. Full count.
You've seen already Porcello, especially to the left-handers, going to the secondary pitches. That curveball, he's already featured a couple of times to Moreland. A big difference in the second half of last year. He's carried into this year. The changeup right there. He now has a lot of different options. A couple of years ago, this 3-2 pitch is a sinker down and away. Now he's got some different options.
A free agent to be after next season is Porcello in his 6th big league season. And he's 25 years old.
Yeah, they rushed him here early, and this is what they expected. They thought they were going to have a big-time pitcher. And for him to be 7-1, we might be surprised, but I think Dave Dombrowski always planned on this.
Chu takes off, a strikeout, throw down, safe as Castellano didn't get the tag on the leg or foot of Chu, and Castellano turns over to the dugout and says, review that, as Brad Ausmus is going to take his time getting out to the mound, and it looked like he got him.
Yeah, it did get him, because you're going to see the glove get underneath the foot here and pin the foot is going to pin the glove to the bag.
Yep.
He got him.
He got him.
And Harold, you know this, that the fielder, by that initial reaction whether you got the guy or not. This is not a case of Castellanos trying to sell the call. He knew right away once the safe call was made. Challenge this call, Brad Ausmus.
Yeah, and the other thing is we're going to challenge it. They're going to come look at it. I don't like Chu running that situation. You got a 3-2 count, left-handed hitter Moreland. The catcher's got an open view to you at third base, and you have Beltre, your main guy, on the on-deck circle. You're already in scoring position. So we're going to look back at the replay, see the swipe tag. He's going to get it right here underneath this glove, and clearly he's going to be out. If they're seeing in New York what we're looking at, Joe.
Well, they show it on the big screen here at Comerica, so the crowd knows it. Everybody, the fielders are leaving the field.
They're walking off the field.
The starter for Texas, Nick Martinez, is probably going to start walking out. I mean, it's obvious that he was out.
Look at Torrey over there talking to Chu like, man, you're out. This inning's over. Look at Miggy. They're ragging on him. What are you doing, man?
Tell him, go get your glove. Get out in the field.
So this will be the end of the inning. If they reverse it, and there's no possible way they don't miss this.
All those guys are going to run over to the umpire and be like, what are you doing, man? We saw it on the board.
There you go. He's out. Inning over. It's a strike him out, throw him out, double play. And let's go to the bottom of the first in Detroit. The first place Tigers coming up. No score after a half. Braves order brought to you by Brad Ausmus. Kinsler leads it off. Torrey Hunter batting second. Miguel Cabrera, DH. Victor Martinez, Austin Jackson, Alex Avila. Nick Castellanos is the third baseman. The rookie Andrew Romine is the shortstop. As Kinsler's up there hacking, and on the first pitch is going to fly into center for Martine. That's out number 1. Davis is batting the number 9 spot. Never got there verbally. We got there graphically. And here's Nick Martinez, a former middle infielder in college at Fordham, and now looking for his first big league win.
Yeah, that's amazing. You know, talking to Ron Washington about him, Tom, you know, the curveball kind of made him a pitcher, but he's got pretty good stuff.
Yeah, he does, and he's got a very simple, easy delivery. It's the same way he threw. He threw actually 26 innings in college. It hasn't been changed over the years. Kind of a short strider guy, but he's a 4-pitch pitcher. What they love about him is just the mound presence, the fact that he just stays so cool out there and a fierce competitor.
The curveball tooketh and then gaveth. It tooketh away his career as a middle infielder. It gaveth to him as a starting pitcher, and a guy that, as Ron Washington said, is not scared. As Torrey Hunter is up on the count here, 2-1.
He's not scared.
He's not.
Oh, that's an amazing story.
I mean, put him out there.
3 years ago, he's playing second base at Fordham, and now he's in the Rangers rotation.
What is that a bigger statement about him or the Rangers? Here's an underhand toss to first, 2 out.
Yeah, a combination of the two. It's quite a deal, though. I mean, it probably saved his career. I know you were joking kind of about his curveball, but it really did. You think about it, if you can't hit a breaking ball, you're probably not playing in the big leagues. But let me shut up, because one of the great stars of the game is coming up, Joe.
Well, as a guy who played, Harold, and as a guy who's covered this game a long time, Tom, what are we looking at? I mean, we're looking, in my opinion, one of the all-time greats, certainly the greatest in the game today, but with his ability, his age, we're looking at a guy who, career numbers wise and just ability wise, is just different than anybody you see, anybody I've ever seen.
I mean, he's got a chance to get 3,000 hits, 600 homers. I mean, he's chasing some of the all-time great numbers, but in this day and age, I think, Tom, you said it best in your open. He uses the whole field, and we just don't see that with the power and the combination of everything.
Well, that's why, Harold, I call him the Hank Aaron of this generation. And actually, the numbers are very similar at this point in his career. And I say that because you can't categorize him just as a high average hitter, or just as a pull hitter, or just as a power hitter. There's nothing he can't do offensively.
You know, just watching, looking at the defense on this guy, the center fielder plays him shading towards right center field. The left side of the infield plays him to pool. I mean, this is the ability of a guy that can hit the ball everywhere. You don't know how to defend him.
Well, I think that's right, and I think the beauty of that, he doesn't have to change his swing at all. It's just a matter of where he catches the ball, either out in front or behind him, in terms of where he's going to hit it.
He's set up at a ball and 2 strikes, and when you say it as a play-by-play guy that he's set up at a ball and 2 strikes, that may apply to just about anybody else in the game. It doesn't apply to Miguel Cabrera. Doesn't apply to the guy on deck, as that one bounces in and the count 2-2, and Victor Martinez. They're just great 2-strike hitters.
Really, and it's so rare. I mean, I hate to even say it's that rare in the game, but it is. There's so many strikeouts, and to be able to have the combination of not striking out and understanding the importance of putting the ball in play, it's amazing that we talk about it as much as we do.
It's over, but low and a full count.
Well, a lot of hitters will try to catch that ball out front. Miguel will let that ball travel, and he'll let the speed of the pitch speed up his bat. In other words, he tends to pull off speed stuff and just hammer fastballs the other way.
3-2 pitch is chunked foul, third base out.
The other thing he does that a lot of hitters don't do is he hits off the fastball. Look fastball and adjust. And a lot of hitters in this day and age, they will look for a certain pitch, sit on it the whole time, whether it's a breaking ball or whatever, and that's why it's hard to catch up to fastballs. You can't throw one by him because he's looking for it, and he can still hit your off-speed pitch when you mess up.
And he draws a 2-out walk.
He did say he was set up, right? 1-2. How'd that work out?
That changed in a hurry for Nick Martinez. And so Nick Martinez, the 23-year-old right-hander, making his 4th start in the big leagues will deal with Victor Martinez. Now, this guy's a free agent to be. And as far as DHs across baseball, and what you said, Tom, before the game, what he seems to have left in the tank, he's looking at a big payday either here in Detroit or wherever free agency takes him beyond this year.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they let him get away. Just so important to this team in the clubhouse as well, and certainly for protecting Cabrera.
Ball one low.
Well, I'll tell you what, with it being 46 or 45% Latin players in baseball now, when you have a presence like him, to be able to speak English as articulate as he does,
right,
and also speak to Latin players in Spanish, you just can't lose that leadership. And you have to find a guy like that in your clubhouse, because the clubhouse has changed and it's centered around a lot of Latin players.
That's down the left field line. If it's fair, it's trouble. It is. It's going to bounce out of play for a ground rule double, and that may have taken a run away from Detroit. And that ball rattled around in the corner at all. Cabrera scores. Instead, it's a ground rule double, and the Tigers have action in the first.
Well, that was a beautiful swing. He took a fastball away and drove it to the corner, and now I think he's leading the league in hitting.
It changes every at bat, doesn't
hand
it?
Back and forth between the number 1, 3, and 4 hitters, and there's the swing, and there's the result.
Amazing. They're fun to watch.
The question now is who protects Victor Martinez, and that falls today to Austin Jackson, who homered last night. Strike one over the outside corner.
And this has been a big change and project for them, too. We watched him at the top of the order for a few years and struggled in the postseason. But he's kind of found a home in the middle on down in this order.
He would seem to be better down here.
Yeah.
The strikeouts, even though he cut him down, there's strike 2. Did a lot of work to lower the leg kick or try to eliminate it, put the bat on the ball, use his great speed, but just didn't seem to fit really as a top guy in the lineup.
Well, a lot of thinking, you know, when you have to take pitches and you're trying to work counts, it gets you out of your natural rhythm sometimes.
Fought it off, still 0-2.
So he's gone back to a little bit of a leg kick this year. I know Lloyd McClendon, the manager of the Mariners, who's their hitting coach, they worked hard for a couple of years to eliminate that kick right there. But now that he's moved down and he can add a little more power, he's gone back to that. But I just think the combination of get deep in the count, take pitches, just didn't work for him.
No, I think he still has work to do as a 2-strike hitter.
Off the end of the bat should end the inning. Moreland gives way to the 20-year-old, and Odor makes the play. Tigers strand 2. After 1 in Detroit, Rangers and Tigers no score. Even though he allowed the leadoff hit to Chu, he was caught stealing after a 1 minute 3 second delay as they went to replay. Here are the Ford keys to the game. Who's going to take this, Tom?
Yeah, well, I said if you're going to face Miguel Cabrera, try to keep the bases clean because he's as dangerous as there is with runners on base. And for Detroit, make the plays behind Rick Porcello. Prefers to keep the ball on the ground. And the good news for Rick Porcello, their defense is much better this year. In fact, you look at batting average against balls in play against Porcello, way down this year with a better defense.
Well, let me take you back to the end of the half inning. Okay, here, Chin-Chu Chu's running. You got the middle of the order coming up. It's a 3-2 count, and with the left-handed hitter, that gives that catcher a clear view. He's going to hop out and throw a ball down to third base. I just didn't like the run in that situation. You can't steal.
Well, the other thing you saw there is the shortstop shaded over on Moreland with the shift. So you really didn't have a very good lead or a good jump based on the way they defended Moreland.
Adrian Beltre is at the plate. It's Rios to follow, then Jimenez the catcher. Against Porcello in the 0-1 is in at the knees, strike 2.
I haven't seen Porcello throw this many strikes. You know, he's just, boom, here it is, getting it. He's not thinking. He's delivering the ball. I think that's why he's had such great success this year.
Beltre waiting for an 0-2 pitch from Porcello. Breaking ball, hangs a bit, but Beltre lines it into left for out number 1. That was a dangerous pitch for Porcello. Beltre went down on his knee to hit that and just lines out.
This is how you know he's looking for this pitch. Watch this. He'll go down like you said, Joe. He's going to finish on the knee. That's like Reggie Jackson type stuff, throwing you back to my weekends watching games as a youngster. You don't see that very often, but guys will do that on a breaking pitch. That's incredible.
Well, Porcello still was able to get him out front just enough where it was off the middle of the barrel of the bat.
That's one of those don't try that at home type things.
Here's Alex Rios.
Well, maybe you do. I see little Joe Buck doing that in the backyard playing wiffle ball.
Yeah, well, there's the key part. Here's a strike. Rios is hitting .308. Been a pretty good start to the season for him amidst all this turmoil with Texas. He's dominated left-handed pitching. He's been okay against right-handers, and he's in the hole here 0-2. And there you go, 2 pitches, 2 more strikes from Porcello.
Really, that first pitch strike is setting up everything for him.
With 1 out, out number 2. Great movement, and Rios just tied up. 3 pitches, strikeout number 2 on the day for Porcello.
Well, Tom, you said the open, they're going to see a different pitcher than what they've seen before.
Yeah, well,
we've watched him work.
Yeah, that was the old bread and butter there, the hard sinker, but it was set up by that breaking ball. And he told me that curveball has really made a big difference for him. Watch the run on this 2-seamer here, running down towards the back foot. Tremendous movement on that pitch. Set up again by the curveball. He said that pitch, it's not just the break on the pitch, but throwing something in the mid-70s to complement the 92, 93 mile an hour 2-seamer has really been a big difference for him.
Here's Jimenez, had a 4-hit game on Thursday, a game that Texas won 9-2 behind Yu Darvish. So with that, he's 4 for 8. Robinson Chirinos the other catcher, while the Texas Rangers wait to get Giovanni Soto back. And talking to Ron Washington about that before the game, that won't happen before the All-Star break, as he just got a brace off his surgically repaired knee. It's been nothing, literally nothing but strikes in the second inning from Porcello.
I'll tell you what, and he's got a little something on that fastball. He threw that one right by him.
Yeah, you called it, Harold. He's become a strike throwing machine, career high in strike percentages. And that was the 4-seamer right there.
Here's an 0-2. Got him, and that's about as impressive an inning as anybody can throw against any team. All strikes and back-to-back strikeouts to end the top of the second. Pinpoint control for the suddenly strike-throwing machine named Porcello after an inning and a half, no score. Excitement using #TheNew. Bottom of the second in Detroit. The Tigers left 2 in the first, and now it's Avila, Castellanos, and Andrew Romine. 6, 7, and 8 hitters for Detroit. It starts with Avila, whose average won't blow you away, but he's been more selective. He's been getting on base, and he's kind of the rock behind the plate for Detroit, and has been here for a while now. No score, bottom of the second. Nick Martinez got into and out of 2-out trouble in the first and fires a strike. Nick was an 18th round selection out of Fordham. 23 years old. Lives in Florida. And he's getting a chance to fill out one of the 5 spots in the starting rotation. Maybe it's breaking news, maybe it's not, maybe it's all over Twitter. I wouldn't know. But Joe Saunders is going to get the ball on Wednesday for Texas. Back in the rotation. He's made 1 start. Had a fractured ankle. There's Mike Maddox, the pitching coach, on the right. He'll take the place. It was held by Scott Baker, who pitched and lost here last night. Baker's back in the bullpen. Here's the 0-2. A strikeout to start the inning, and a good pitch down and in from Martinez. Let's go back to April 20th, 2010. Do you know this, Tom? If you do, off the top of your head.
The Fordham flip. Now look at number 10 there in the on-deck circle. That's Nick Martinez. Saw one of the greatest plays you'll ever see in any level of baseball. How did he do that? Well, he had a good view of that because he was playing second base for Fordham.
That just shows you how good an offensive player Nick was. We had to show somebody else flipping over the plate to get him in a highlight from college.
And that somebody else, by the way, was Brian Konecki. As ball 1 misses outside to Castellanos.
And Brian will live on forever in YouTube fame.
Better thank Nick for that.
And obviously one way to avoid the new change in the home plate collision situation in Major League Baseball. Just go over the top. Broken bat, chopper. That's out number 2. For more on Nick Martinez, down to the 4th member of this motley crew, here is Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Joe. I spoke with Jay Hefner, who is the scout for the Rangers that scouted Martinez before the draft, and he told me he didn't see Martinez pitch much, only about 9 innings his junior year. And when he talked to Martinez, Martinez said, "Hey, how about drafting me as an infielder, as a hitter?" And Hefner said, "Nick, we don't see you quite that way." But he liked the fact that Martinez argued for himself, had a bit of a chip on his shoulder. He thought that meant Martinez would persevere through the minors, and that is exactly what happened.
Okay, so this is graduation season, as Romine, who homered here last night, stands in. And I have noticed that during graduation season, as I've had the chance to go to a couple so far, that's fouled left side, 1 ball, 1 strike. The rage now with high school kids is wearing bow ties. And yeah, I'm thinking there may be something with the exposure that Ken Rosenthal gets on Fox Sports on Saturdays in the postseason. The trend-setting Ken Rosenthal.
Wow. Maybe. I think that's a definite connection.
I mean,
who doesn't want that look?
He was in a movie earlier this week. I mean, wow, Ken, you're blowing up.
Was that $1 Million Arms?
Yeah, he was in there.
So was the guy to your right. Verducci's in there.
But Rosenthal acted like he had a speaking line. I mean, it was wow.
2 out, nobody on. The heartthrobs that are John Hamm and Ken Rosenthal. Here's a foul backing out of play, 2-2.
The sequel will be $1 Million Bow Tie. Got to up the roll for Ken Rosenthal next time.
Ken the trendset. I like it. I like it.
2 out, nobody on. 2-2 the count on Romine, who let some frustration go last night after he got one over the boards. He was giving chest bumps and high fives and signing autographs in the dugout, and he was finally getting a chance to relieve some stress.
He was smiling the entire time around the bases. How great was that?
It was great. He was
First
like a little
career
kid.
home run.
It was awesome.
I think he went for ice cream after the game to celebrate. He wasn't sure if it would stay fair or not. Look at this. Clank.
He got into the dugout, and then it was chest bumps and high fives. And good for him. He's played a great shortstop. They're waiting for him to start to hit. There's a base hit. He's red hot. 2-out single. Through the left side, and he rounds first. Will come back with Davis coming up.
Nice piece of hitting. You know, he comes from a baseball family. You know, his brother Andrew, and then his dad Kevin. I played with his dad Kevin in Fairbanks, Alaska, similar to Cape Cod for those of you who don't know about the Alaskan League for college players. But it's a baseball family. He loves the game, been around it a long time. It's cool to see him get an opportunity to play. And looking at that, Joe, you know, it tells you the Tigers, they're not going to go get a shortstop. Stephen Drew's off the board. So we'll see what happens. He's going to get a chance to play.
Here's Rajai Davis batting the number 9 spot. He's cooled off after a great start. He was hitting 350 plus, 354 through the 25th of April, and he's tapered off, but he's still number 2 in the American League in stolen bases, and he's brought, along with Kinsler, a little different approach to this Detroit more athletic lineup that they're featuring in 2014.
Yeah, I think also, you know, we always think about stolen bases, but it's also guys that will score on balls in the gap, you know, and on defense. They're cutting balls off. And this is a big yard when you start looking in the outfield in the gaps, you know. So they've given the Tigers pitching staff a chance to keep double plays in order, and their hitters a chance. Hit a ball in the gap, somebody's going to score for it.
That's a great point. He did score from first base on a double last night.
Left side, that's fair. Down the line. And now we'll watch Romine run. He's going to cruise around third. To the plate. 1-0. Tigers on top.
Well, Joe, it's right on cue. I mean, Romine scores from first. This doesn't happen last year with their lineup. They had so many base-to-base players. And there's a lot of ways to score runs that put pressure on the other team. As you see Rajai Davis stay down, get this ball, reach and hits it off the end, but he gets it down the line. And watch Romine, you know. Here's the shortstop's going to score for you. And I don't know if Iglesias scores on this ball. He doesn't run as well as most people think, you know. So there's a lot of things that have changed with this club with the dynamic of speed.
Peralta doesn't score on that ball.
Sure doesn't.
He was their
Great
shortstop
point.
last year. And now back to the top of the order. Action out of the 8 and 9 spots, and back to the top for Kinsler.
Oh, got it.
And he went too far. Davis tried to get a jump, and he is out to end the inning. Although Ed Hickox looked like he was about to call another one safe over at third. But the out ends the second. Too soon. Too soon, Mr. Davis. But he's got an RBI, and the Tigers have a 1-0 lead. Thank the PR staffs from each side to set that up, and individually the participants, as we are looking at Martin to lead it off, Leonis, then Murphy, then Odor, the rookie, the 20-year-old. Here in the third inning with Detroit on top 1-0. Colby Lewis is standing by down in the Rangers dugout as his group coming up to hit here in the third, down by a run. The count evens at a ball and a strike. How you doing there? You look comfortable.
Yeah, they got me all squared away over here. I'm just going to be watching out for foul balls now.
I was watching you put the headset on a minute ago, and I saw a mark on the inside of that right elbow. How you feeling physically?
I feel great. Got a new hip. The elbow's great. I think the docs have done a great job of repairing me and getting me back on the field. That's for sure.
Yeah, for a guy that missed, a lot of time, it's got to just feel so good to be a part of this thing. I know it's been frustrating. You guys have had a lot of injuries, but just individually to get back out there and do your thing's got to feel great.
No, definitely. I think when I was trying to get my rehab starts in last year, it was one of those things where I looked at my wife and I said, I don't know if I got anything left, because it was just, it hurt so bad with the hip, and the 4 years of every 4 to 6 weeks of the cortisone didn't play very well into it either. But we took one more shot at it, replaced the hip, and they gave me another opportunity.
So you got the hip replacement out of the way early in life. You don't have to worry about that later.
Yeah, right, exactly. Well, he told me he didn't know how long it's going to last because of the strain that I'll put on it. But we'll see. Hopefully, I can get 20, 30 years out of it. But if it gives me a couple in baseball life, then I was ready to do that. So.
The strikeout started the inning with Martin. It's been nothing but strikes, and now a base hit into left center field off the bat of Donnie Murphy, back off the disabled list, and he's on with one out here in the third inning, 1 on, 1 out.
Hey, Colby, I'm curious, as you watch this Tiger lineup, it'll be basically the same lineup tomorrow. Right-handed pitcher for you guys today. Right. Tomorrow you're throwing right-handed as well. What do you look at? What are you looking at as you prepare your game?
I've always kind of been one of those guys where I don't do a lot of video work or anything like that. I kind of have just my approach and kind of feel how things are working in the bullpen, and I kind of take that into the game. You have your scouting report. You have their the weak spots that hitters have. You try to attack those every once in a while, especially in situations where you have base runners on and stuff. But really, I just make the adjustment on the fly. I just kind of let myself go out there, get loose.
If you see something like Rajay Davis getting ready to run right there in that situation, does that kind of light a bell for you?
Yeah, well, I mean, we have all the scouting reports on like when he likes to run and stuff, so we're really I don't know, what do you want to call it?
Dialed in.
Yeah, we're dialed in on like certain pitches, certain counts and stuff. So we know when he likes to run. A lot of guys like to take first and then try to take second on the first pitch. So or take third. I'm sorry, on the first pitch. So we definitely look at that when we're out there on the mound. We step off, inside move, that kind of thing.
Well, Colby, I wanted to ask you about the elbow surgery. It seems to be one of the big stories in baseball this season. One of your teammates, Martin Perez, undergoing the Tommy John surgery. What's your experience coming out of that surgery? What can you tell him about what to expect?
Well, I had it so young in life. I had it after my junior year in high school. And
now they've got the runner, Colby, hung up between second and third, not well handled, and everybody's going to end up safe. That was a crazy play. Well, as Cabrera came off the bag and looked at third, it looked like the runner Murphy had a chance to get back and just hung himself out and then eventually gets back anyway.
Yeah, what happened in that rundown is because it was cued the way it was, Castellanos came across to cut off the shortstop. Romine makes the play. So you're going to see him follow the ball right here. Now he's out of position. Somebody's got to go back to third. Now they go back. Now you got to stay there. What happens is Miggy runs, but Castellanos, nobody went back to first. And so now that allows Murphy to come back to first base.
Well, I think Miggy's got to keep running at Murphy. I think he gives the ball up too early right here. That allows Murphy the time to get back to second base. It's too long of a throw. Continue to run at the runner, force him back towards second base.
You got to force him to make a decision one way or the other. You're absolutely right.
So now runners at first and second, one out. An opportunity for Colby Lewis's Rangers to get on the board here as Shin-Soo Choo is at the plate. He singled his first time, was out trying to steal to end the first half inning, and a strike from Porcello.
Colby, how'd you see that pickoff?
What, last inning?
Yeah, that play right there.
He's talking about the play we just saw,
there.
the rundown.
The rundown? Well, exactly like how you explained it, Harold. I mean, I think it took him the other way, and then, they got in the rundown, and then Miggy took off too, so there was nobody back at first to kind of finish the play. But, yeah, I mean, it was definitely played in our favor, that's for sure.
You guys will take it. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's fouled, strike two. We're on the outside looking in. What's it like on the inside looking out with what you guys have been through injury-wise? It's just ridiculous here at the start of the season.
Yeah, we're definitely banged up, that's for sure. You're asked the question if something like this would happen in the beginning of the year, and you're like, absolutely, there's no way that so many guys can get hurt. But it's happened, and we're just trying to make adjustments on the fly. You know, we're getting guys in there that are getting healthy, getting guys at bats that probably wouldn't get at bats throughout the year. And, we're trying to get those guys to take advantage of it.
Going to be tough to turn it. Out at second and safe at first. First and third, 2 out. Force out at second base. Chu is on. Erased is Odor. Over to third is Murphy. And the inning's going to be up to Elvis Andrus. I know this from talking to Ron Washington. It was no surprise, Colby, that he's not throwing in the towel. He's not giving up. He said, we got 9 guys to play today. He'll stay on your guys', let's say, backsides to keep fighting.
No, absolutely. He's a big time motivator. He gets us out there and puts us in a good position to try to win every day. And that's all you kind of want out of a manager is to motivate you, keep you energized, and give you a little bit of reassurance that we'll work through all this.
Here's Elvis. He is 0 for 1. First and third, 2 out. Tying run at third. Good breaking ball from Porcello. Strike one. Can you see the break on a pitch like that from where you sit, Colby Lewis, or is that just easier for us up here?
Yeah, well, from the side you just see depth, so you can't really see the break of it. You just see kind of the height of it, and like I said, the depth. How much it drops. So
Andrus backed up on the count, 0-1. First and third, 2 out. Porcello trying to get around back-to-back hits with 1 out. He steps off. Rangers need Elvis to kick it in. He homered this past week, first homer since early April. Batting in that number 2 spot, and he's really struggled with runners in scoring position. The 0-1 from Porcello. Breaking ball, 1 hop to the shortstop. Romine out at second. Colby, go get him tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon.
Guys.
Thanks for the time.
All right.
That's Colby Lewis. Bottom of the third inning rolls in. We're going to hear from Justin Verlander later, if he remembers. 1-0 Tigers. as the Tigers bat up 1-0 against Nick Martinez. And I think we're obviously really early in this game as Ian Kinsler starts it off. But you can see why the Rangers like Nick Martinez. He's up here before he should have been, at least in the rotation. You had a nice note, Tom Verducci, in your notes, and I know we have a graphic. He just ties up Kinsler for out number 1 about the projected rotation and where the Rangers sit here in the latter stages of May 2014 as Kinsler's 0 for 2.
Well, this is a rotation in the winter. A lot of people, I'm talking about the Rangers, we're talking about maybe not the equal of the Tigers, but maybe a top 3 rotation in the American League. And it really started in the offseason with the injury to Derek Holland. Kind of tripped over his dog and fell down the steps and tore up his knee.
Poor dog.
Nobody asked about the dog. He's not on the payroll of the Rangers. Here's a line drive into right. Woo. Caught by Rios. 2 out.
Tell you, there's something to be said about throwing strikes. You know, we're talking about Martinez. He's throwing strikes. We're looking at some of the best hitters in the league today, right? With Kinsler, Miggy, Torrey Hunter's a great hitter, Victor Martinez. And if they go 7 times they fail, they're hitting 300 out of 10. That if you throw strikes, you're going to be successful 7 out of 10 times. You're a pitcher, and that's for the great hitters. You know?
Well, that's a great point. And look at his pace, too, Harold. This guy's not moving off the rubber. I mean, he's get the ball, get the sign, and go. I have not seen him walk off the mound yet.
Here's an 0-1. Challenging Miguel Cabrera lived to tell after that pitch. Fouled straight back 0-2.
Yeah, you got away with one right here. This is a ball right center cut. Just missed it.
Poor Miguel, he's struggling.
Yeah.
He was hitting .206 over the first 16 games, and now just under .400 since. And here's a high fly ball into left. Back near the track to end the inning is Chu. And a 1-2-3 frame for Nick Martinez. He's been good. Let's go to the 4th. In Detroit, Tigers up 1-0. Here's why. Tonight, the season premiere of Baseball Night in America on Fox. Cardinals take on the Reds. Royals and the Angels The Nationals and the reigning NL MVP Andrew McCutchen taking on the Pirates. MLB doubleheader continues tonight after this action at 7 Eastern on Fox Network. We go to the 4th inning, and Rick Porcello is back to the hill. Moreland, Beltre, and Rios, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters here in the 4th. Ball 1.
A rare ball. Only the 9th ball he's thrown outside of the strike zone. Working on his 12th hitter.
Moreland struck out his first time on a 3-2 pitch on the front end of a strike him out, throw him out double play. There's a 90-mile-per-hour pitch pumped in over the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Tom, did you see Porcello when he was a kid coming out of Jersey in high school?
You know, he was one of the highly touted high school pitchers coming out of Seton Hall Prep in New Jersey. In fact, in his draft class, the 3 real big stud high school pitchers were Porcello, Matt Harvey, and Madison Bumgarner, and all of them committed to play at North Carolina. Can you imagine that staff?
Wow. Some good recruiting.
Obviously, the Giants signed Bumgarner, and the Tigers got a deal done with Porcello.
Ball and 2 strikes on Moreland.
Oof.
And a thank you very much from the home plate umpire Lance Barrett for Avila coming up on that bounced pitch to the plate. 2-2. You know anybody else, Tom, that went to Seton Hall Prep?
I do.
Who?
Sitting in the booth. It's actually me.
I know.
Oh, is that right? No wonder he knew about his alma mater.
Here's a 2-2 pitch.
I
It's
better know
fouled
about
out of
that.
play.
Actually pitched and played on Verducci Field at Seton Hall Prep.
Oh, excuse me.
It keeps on going. How about this?
There it is. Hi there. Class of 19 say hello. I'm Rush Chairman Tom Verducci.
That is funny.
What's so funny about that, Harold?
Let me get my gigantic head out of the way.
Yeah. Look at that, man.
Here's a 2-2. Off the end of the bat into left center field. Kevin Burkhardt is not going to make the catch. Austin Jackson is, but Burkhardt's going to give us a game break. Hello there. Well, there you go. 4-3 Yankees on top. As the batter is Adrian Beltre, who fly to left his first time up. He didn't miss riding one out of here by much the first time. And now he gets a base hit into center. He's the only guy seeing Porcello. 1 on, 1 out. Your dad coached for a long time at the Prep.
He did. Baseball and football. And that's why the field's named after him.
Oh, I thought that was after you.
I did too. Until Steve Horn, our editorial consultant, flashed an index card in front of my face.
Now, is your brother still at Notre Dame?
No, he's in the Canadian Football League now. We go through my whole family history now.
We may as well. We started down Seton Prep.
I got another brother who's coaching in Virginia, and I go back to my grandparents, and I got to tell you the whole family history if you want.
Well, they're going to be upset if you don't mention it now.
1 on, 1 out. Alex Rios at the plate, and a strike from Porcello. Rios struck out his first time. That's us. Joe, Harold, Tom, and Kenny. Kenny's chock full of information, and he can't wedge his way into this love fest in the booth at this point. Only once.
Got to go to Seton Hall Prep. You got a shot.
Here's the 0-1 pitch from Porcello. Timeout, late time granted to Rios by Lance Barrett, the home plate umpire. Ron Kolpa is the crew chief. He's out at second. Ed Hickok's at third. Jeff Gosney is the umpire at first. There's the crew chief. And there's Jeff Gosney. Here's an 0-1. Breaking ball down and away, a ball and a strike.
As long as we're talking about alma maters and where you went to high school, Nick Martinez, the starting pitcher for the Rangers today, went to the same high school as Fidel Castro.
Hialeah, Florida?
Bell and Jesuit Prep in Miami. It started out in Cuba, and after the revolution in '61, it moved to Miami. Fidel Castro, class of 1944.
About that.
Here's a 1-1.
I don't think he comes back for the reunions, though.
I don't think so. I wonder what he was voted most likely to take over an island nation.
Where'd you find that nugget? My goodness. That's pretty good stuff. Unbelievable.
1 on, 1 out, 1-2 pitch is down and in. 2-2.
Joe, what about your high school? You got any dictators come out of your high school?
No. We've had senators. Does that count?
Close.
Close.
Beltre at first. After Moreland fly to center, and Alex Rios is at the plate. Here is a 2-2 from Porcello instead of throw over. Think about who the Rangers have had and who they could use. Everybody knows, well, not everybody, but at least Ranger fans know about the Chris Davis trade. And he was in the organization, part of that Uehara deal. And Davis just led the world in home runs last year. He's back off the DL, and his teammate is Nelson Cruz, who was with the Rangers. Signed a 1-year deal with Baltimore, and he leads the American League in RBIs and has 15 home runs. But he's gone. They can get him back next year if they want him, if they want to flip some cash his way. There's Nelson Cruz. And then you see Giancarlo Stanton, who I think is rapidly becoming the it guy in the National League with run production and just the raw power. His strength is ridiculous.
Special guy. And these guys are still young. You know, you look at Stanton and Porcello, we talked a lot about today.
Breaking ball is hit high in the air to left. Rios would like to have that pitch back. Davis is there, 2 out. And Beltre back to the bag.
Well, it's the same story, though. That curveball, that guys are just a little bit out front. Yeah, it's up in the strike zone, but, you know, the difference on the fastball is enough. We saw it earlier with Beltre, now with Rios, just off the end of the bat out in front.
Just enough to keep him off balance. It's a good-looking swing, but it's just out in front, like you said, Tom. And the thing is that Porcello has a reputation, fastball, changeup. You know, and now you throw that curveball just to show the guys another pitch is enough to keep them off balance.
Here's Jimenez, the catcher who struck out his first time. Runner at first. 1-0 game and a ball inside.
This guy's got some power. I was watching him in batting practice. Long swing, but he's got a lot of power if he catches it.
That's the if part.
The if.
And long swings aren't usually good.
No.
When they're not throwing 75 during BP. That pitch is low in the count, 2-0. The Rangers are getting no production out of the catching position in their lineup, swinging the bat. 189 combined coming in. They're still waiting for Soto to come back. That's the worst combined average at the catching position in the AL and second worst in baseball to the Dodgers, getting just 179. That's into right. Back is Hunter on the run. It's over his head and off the wall. Digging for third is Beltre. They're going to bring him around. We could have a play at the plate. The throw in, he's safe, and the game is tied. Gets away and over to third safely is Jimenez in a 1-1 game.
There's Hunter power you were talking about.
Hunter deked a little bit. Now there's 2 out in the inning, but they had a shot at Beltre. The relay wasn't handled perfectly, and Beltre scores, and now he's going to need a chance to get some oxygen down in the dugout.
Yeah, you see Torrey with the deke here. You know, maybe that's to hold the hitter. I'm not sure, but go ahead and get that ball. If he hits the first guy, I think they got a shot. He overthrows him. They got the double cut relay, and even if he catches it, I still think they're going to be safe. You see the big fella lumber into third base, but he's going to be safe regardless if he catches that ball or not.
So a 1-1 game, and now a grounder foul outside first off the bat of Martin. Leonis struck out his first time. That's when Porcello had struck out 3 in a row. So Beltre scores. We're still waiting to see what they rule it for Jimenez. Either way, he's tied it, and now he's at third with 2 out.
It's got to be what, a double advance on the throw?
You would think, but they have yet to make the call. That's out of play in the count 0-2.
See, here's where the game has changed a little bit. Right here, you got Martin, who can bunt, handle the bat a little bit. You got the whole right side of the infield back. This is years ago. You got that runner at third. You bring that bunt with you. You get the base hit. You pick up the runner. This is how the game has changed. He doesn't look around for that situation anymore.
Here's the 0-2. That's chopped up the middle. Base hit. And on top now are the Texas Rangers with 2 out RBIs by Jimenez and Martin. It's 2-1.
This kid Martin is loaded with talent, and he was thrust into this situation last year similar to what we're seeing with the Rangers because they had so many injuries in their outfield, and he came up, got a chance to play, and has really just taken off. I mean, there's a lot of conversation him being in the Rookie of the Year conversation last year because he played so well. He's learned, and this is what they're hoping will happen with the other guys that get a chance to play this year.
So Jimenez ties it. Martin puts the Rangers on top for the first time today, and Donnie Murphy is at the plate as Cabrera has a little playful moment with Martin at first. Now they're making the announcement. It's an RBI double for Jimenez. Went to third on that throw that got away. The base hit by Martin up the middle, a 2-1 game, and the batter is Donnie Murphy. First pitch is a ball.
You see how Porcello's game has changed, Tom, since they put him in the stretch. And it just changed. When you get a guy out of his rhythm, it changes enough to maybe allow the hitters to have a chance.
Yeah, I mean, the throws to first base, the holds to freeze the runners, and, you know, that great rhythm we saw in the first couple innings where he was pouring in strikes. We haven't seen the same kind of pace or rhythm now out of the stretch.
A long look.
Step out. Time, please.
Hard to believe Porcello didn't step off and Murphy didn't step out. The count goes to 2-0. They gave an error, by the way, to Avila, his second of the year, on the throw that got away that allowed the runner Jimenez to get to third. So on that play, it's an RBI double, E2.
That should be a non-air nowadays. You know why? Because he's given the plate.
I'm with you, Harold.
You got a swipe tag.
In the old days, the catcher sits there and waits for the ball to come to you. Now you have to go out and reach and bring the ball back to the runner. It's a difficult play.
Counts 3-0 as Porcello looks completely frustrated.
Yeah.
After what's happened over the last 3 hitters.
Sure does. And no conversation either. And nobody's gone out and had the conversation. You know, you may see somebody say, hey, time out. Let's settle it down for a second. Would that be okay, Tom?
Limited. I want to put a limit on those. Unlimited timeouts? No, we have to do something about that.
So 4 in a row. That's the first walk handed out by Porcello, and now we're going to get that conversation from Jeff Jones. Let's go back to the double, the decoy by Hunter, and there's 2 outs. You're not really deking the runner. The runner's going.
He's hoping maybe Beltre might slow up and not run it out full. I guess that could be the only thing I would think that he was thinking. But if he hits that first guy right there, they got a shot. And here's what we're talking about with the swipe tag now. Because of the new catcher rule where you're giving home plate, the catcher's got that unique glove as it is. You come back with the swipe tag. It's hard to give errors on that ball now, I think.
Avila was charged with his second of the season. And then I don't think there's any doubt, Tom, there was carryover with that next at bat. 4 in a row out of the strike zone to Donnie Murphy, who's just off the DL. Singled his first time, but he's hitting .211 at the start of the day. There's Justin Verlander. We'll hear from him in a bit as Odor will dig in. 2 on with 2 out. The 20-year-old rookie who has 1 home run, 2 RBIs. And he lines one into right over the glove of Cabrera. 1 run will score, probably 2, as Murphy comes around. He'll score, and Odor has got a 2-run triple to make it 4-1.
Odor can fly. I love the triple, Joe. You know, it's one of the funnest plays in all of baseball. You really see what kind of athlete a guy is. Before he hit that ball, I'm thinking, this kid's 20 years old, man. Just saying that and being in the big leagues, that's a great-looking swing on a breaking ball. He hammers it into the corner. And then just watching him run was like a delight, man. This kid can fly.
This seemed to be the type snowball effect that Porcello's been able to avoid as that ball got over the glove of Cabrera and into the corner. But to me, this lead balloons because of the walk to Donnie Murphy as much as it does because of the 2-out 2-run triple.
Yeah, and 4 pitches, as you pointed out as well. I think that was the case there with Odor, the young player you don't have a lot of information on. That's a get-me-over breaking ball, figuring, you know, he's probably sitting up first pitch fastball, and he got ambushed on the pitch. Nice job by Odor.
There's Chu, who's 1 for 2. Rougned Odor has made it a 3-run game. He's at third as the count evens at a ball and a strike.
Tell you what, I like the patience of the Tigers, though, because years ago, he doesn't get the pitch through this garbage. There might be somebody up, put a little pressure on him. We got to work through this. Brad Osmus is saying work it through. Just work it out. I know he's 7-1. He probably deserves that, but go ahead and work through it because they need him to learn how to pitch through bad situations. And obviously, Joe, with his numbers, he probably didn't have that many bad situations this year. I think this is great.
Working on a 6-game winning streak, a career best. Porcello 16-3 since last 4th of July. It's tied for the best in baseball. Getting roughed up here in the 4th inning. A 4-run 4th should end it, and it will. But in the inning, all the RBIs coming with 2 out. We're going to hear from Justin Verlander in the bottom of the 4th inning when Martinez, Jackson, and Avila step to the plate with the Tigers down by 3. A 4-run top half by Texas. And now Nick Martinez, we'll see how he pitches with the lead. The young right-hander will deal with Victor Martinez, Austin Jackson, Alex Avila. There are some things you can count on when you come to Detroit and you do a nationally televised game. 1, you're going to see a big crowd. You're going to see probably a well-pitched game. You're going to see a big crowd. 2, if he's not pitching that day, Justin Verlander will be kind enough to slide a headset on his head, talk to the talking suits in the booth. Hi, Justin.
How's it going, boys?
We're doing well. How you doing? You guys caught up on your sleep after the rough travel on Sunday night? You little pampered big leaguers?
Yeah, you know, it really honestly hasn't been easy to get back into our routine, especially when we got back off this long road trip. And the first game we had against these guys was a day game. our schedule's been a little bit of a mess, but we're starting to get back into the swing of things and start playing Tiger baseball again.
Yeah, if people aren't aware of what I'm talking about, they had a mechanical issue with their plane, had to go back to the hotel late at night in Boston on Sunday night. They didn't get to Cleveland until just before they should have gotten to Cleveland to get to the ballpark, and a 3-game sweep followed as Martinez reaches up and slaps it one into left center. Back to grab it as Martin, 1 out. We were talking during the break, Justin. You've been a part of some really good teams here in Detroit. New manager, different feel around this ball club, and I think kind of a fresher feel around that locker room, that clubhouse. What do you think about your group?
I love this team, and I've been very lucky to be part of good teams in the past. Every year you come into spring training, and I've been in a unique situation to say every year we got a chance to win a World Series, and not a lot of guys can say that. And this team is nothing short of that. We're extremely talented. I love the acquisitions that we made this offseason, the moves that Dave Dombrowski made. I think they fit in extremely well with our team. I think last year in the playoffs, I think it kind of stuck out that we weren't able to move some guys and steal some bases when we had to, because you're facing the best pitchers in the league, and it's tough to score runs. You got to be able to manufacture. And I think that's a big difference in our ball club this year. There's 1-2 run ball games we can manufacture those runs instead of having to slug them.
Yeah, the speed, and it also comes in on the defensive side, too. Hey, Justin, I want to ask you this real quick. Watching Rick Porcello, had a little bit of a jam last half inning, and I was saying this is good for him. Before, they didn't let him pitch through a lot of things. Can you relate to that, where at this age where he's at, to be able to pitch through jams?
Yeah, absolutely. In the past, we've kind of held him with kid gloves, and rightfully so. I think people tend to forget how young he is. But he's getting to the stage in his career where he's able to pitch through some stuff and get late into ball games, and that's a big difference night to night. When you go deep in the ball game, that saves our bullpen a bit, and you learn how to pitch through those situations and come out a winner. It's only a 3-run game right now. I know he had a tough inning last inning, but you know what? He goes another 3 or 4 innings and keeps those guys off the board, and we got a chance to get him a W.
Hey, Justin, going back to that trip and the mechanical problems, you missed the flight. The good news was you were at least dressed for that kind of a long delay and an overnight stay. Tell us about the fashion statement you guys made, and will we see it again?
Well, I think it started with Joe Nathan and Jabba Chamberlain. We got the Zubas, the Tigers gear, looking fresh. It was all in fun, and thank goodness it actually worked out well on that trip, because had we not been wearing those, I don't know what would have happened. We had some guys with some pretty stinky breath the next day, because we get off the bus, we get back to the hotel at 3:30 a.m. and we got a quick turnaround to get to Cleveland the next day. So we don't want to have to wait another hour when we get back to the hotel to call for our bags with all of our toiletries in them. So you just kind of go to bed and wake up and do the best you can with mouthwash and go get on the plane.
Little bird bath, and out the door you go.
Yeah.
2 out, nobody on. I mean, this is, we're looking at video of you guys coming down the tunnel.
That was classic.
The clubhouse. And then a 3-game sweep followed. Stay hot. Four coming back here and getting blown out by Texas on Thursday. I know you can't wait to get back out there, because the last time out wasn't good against Cleveland.
Yeah, it's just, this is a game of routine, and, it's kind of tough sometimes. You get a wrinkle thrown in things. Your body gets so used to stuff, and we battled as best we could, and I'm not taking any blame away from the way we played. We didn't play fantastic. The Cleveland Indians played extremely well. But we got to turn the page. That's the game of baseball. You get a new day every day, and come out ready to win. Same with me. Unfortunately, I don't get to play every day. It's every 5. So when you don't have a good one, you got to sit and grind on it a little bit more. But I just turn the page and get going back in your routine. Throw my bullpen, work on what I got to work on, and get ready to go back out there.
Hey, what team have you seen this year that kind of surprised you? That you're saying, hey, they're pretty good.
The Twins. The Twins are playing really good baseball. They got some guys in the middle of their lineup that probably a lot of people haven't heard of that are having really good years. Whether they can sustain it, we'll see. I never take anything for granted, because I was a part of that 2006 Detroit Tigers team where everybody was saying, oh, these guys can't keep winning, they can't do it. Well, we did, and we made it to the World Series. So you don't take anything for granted. Those guys have a good ball club.
Avila at the plate, 2 out, nobody on, 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's the ace of this staff, and a really good staff. It's saying something. Here in Detroit, Justin Verlander. He's been doing it the longest around here. That just missed, and Nick Martinez thought he was out of the inning. Instead, he's got to throw another to Avila. I heard your manager, Brad Ausmus, will come in the clubhouse and dance and have fun and He's brought some energy, hasn't he?
Yeah, you can tell he's not long retired because he's got that baseball humor. You know, he's not afraid to give you a little jab and stick a knife in you and make fun of you a little bit. It's all in good fun though, and we have a great time in this clubhouse.
Go back to chewing seeds, Justin. You're finished. You're
all right,
off the hook.
guys. Have a good one.
Thanks. Into the 5th inning we go. A 1-2-3 frame for Nick Martinez. You can see with every inning why the Rangers like this young right-hander. 4-1. Texas on top. With UFC 173 prelims as Michael Chiesa takes on Francisco Trinaldo. Plus other epic bouts. It all begins with a pre-fight show at 7:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Those guys are crazy.
I don't get it. I get it, but man, it's violence.
That's Miguel Olivo crazy.
Oh, how about that? He got released.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sound surprised, Joe.
Yeah, I know.
Biting off the ear of your teammate tends to get you released.
First pitch is a ball, and now another 2-0 to Elvis Andrus, who is 0 for 2. Yeah, that happened in the minor leagues for the Dodgers with Alex Guerrero, a guy they dumped a lot of money in, who they're trying to teach a new position to. And well, he's on the disabled list as he had to undergo plastic surgery to reattach the chewed off piece of his ear.
Yeah, and it was the upper part of your ears, not down there at the earlobe where people are getting them pierced. It was up at the top. Ouch.
2-1 the count. Andrus, then Moreland, then Beltre against Porcello, trying to get it back together, and here's a base hit to start the inning. That is hit number 8. How about Yasiel Puig? All of a sudden, you see what he's done over the last 20 games, but for the year, he's number 2 in the National League in batting average. He's taken off, and you weren't with us a couple of weeks ago, Harold, but Tom, you and I saw a different Yasiel Puig once action started. We saw the same guy going to his position in right and coming off the field at the end of the inning, but he's figured some things out now.
And very quickly, hard for me to remember a player who almost as if flipping a switch improved that quickly. The difference, Joe, is now he's hitting strikes. It sounds really simple, and usually it takes guys years to do that. As much as he chased last year, he's making pitchers come into the zone. and he's making them pay. I mean, he may be the most improved player in baseball, and he was pretty good last year.
Well, and the other thing he's doing is he's playing under control. I mean, he had a bad night the other night in New York. Okay, he ran all over the place, but he's throwing the ball, he's hitting cutoff men, and like you said, he's swinging at strikes, and he's a force, man. He's must-see TV.
I say it all the time. He's one of the 3 to 5 players most exciting in baseball. He will do something once a game.
He's number one.
That will make you say, wow. It could be on the downside, as you said, running the bases. That's always interesting. But whether it's his arm in the outfield, the way he swings the bat at the plate, he will make you go, wow, once a night.
He caught a ball in New York the other night for the 3rd out and didn't know it was the 3rd out and threw a seed across the diamond. And you're like, wow, what an arm. You forgot there's only 3 outs in this game. He's great. He's fun to watch.
0-2 the count on Moreland, who's 0 for 2. Leadoff base hit by Elvis Andrus, and that misses inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Do you think the Dodgers figure it out? Are the Dodgers good enough to catch the Giants in the NL West?
They got some problems defensively, Joe. That's a bad defensive team. They're worse defensively, and I think even they thought they need to clean that up. And really, this is the first time they're getting to see their big 3, talking about Kershaw, Greinke, and Ryu, really make their turns now. Now they're all healthy. Let's see how they do with that rotation intact.
Kershaw had a good one last night. That's fouled. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Struck out 9 through 6, and the bullpen hung on for a win. And there's the West. You can say what you want about Colorado, and they lost their 3rd baseman last night to a fracture in the middle finger. Nolan Arenado. And then you've got the Dodgers right behind him. But I just think San Francisco, even without Belt, is so balanced and so good and managed so well and so deep in the bullpen. I think they may be the best team any way you look at it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it when we had them on April 5th. You know, the Giants might be the best team out west. You still got a lot of things to figure out with the Dodgers. You know, and Tom touched on it more than anything is with that pitching staff, you have to catch the outs when they're given. And you can't continue to rely on that staff to not only get 27 outs, but expect them to get 30, 35 outs in a game. You just can't do it.
Well, right now the Dodgers are losing at Philadelphia in the 9th inning, 5-3. Puig with 2 more hits. Check on the runner at first. That's Andrus with a count of 1-2 on Moreland, with Adrian Beltre on deck.
I still think, Joe, they got to make a trade in the outfield. I mean, one day it's Kemp's our center fielder. Now he's not. He's not playing defense like we thought he could. He's not moving, but he's swinging the bat. Ethier's in. Crawford's hot. I mean, you got to decide. Look, Puig we know is playing. The other 3, you got to figure something out. And go with 3 guys.
Well, if they're going to trade one of those guys,
it's either Kemp or Ethier.
Okay. Well, I would think Crawford would be the guy if you wanted to eat a bunch of money. But even with Kemp, I mean, there's going to be money eaten to take a pretty good player off your roster.
Yeah, that's the problem. And I think finding a trading partner, not all that easy.
Runner goes on a pitch down and in. Throw down is not in time, and a stolen base.
You might get a replay.
For Andrus, his 12th of the season.
Wow.
Close at second base on the throw by Avila.
A heck of a throw by Avila on a breaking pitch.
No argument. Looked like the left hand got in. Nope. He's out.
Let's see.
So now the pitcher Porcello walks off the mound. Ausmus is going to challenge. He's going to win this challenge. And we talked to Brad about this before the game. He doesn't like the whole idea of going out there and stalling. So what he has is his pitcher, if they're on defense, step off the mound. And if they're on offense, have the hitter step out of the box. And now he knows he's gotten the thumbs up to go challenge it. And they should win this challenge. They'll be 2 for 2.
Yeah, they should. He got a great jump, but tremendous tag. You know, and you can make up so much ground with a quick swipe tag. Watch how far he takes that glove and brings it back. That's some quick hands by Romine. And that's a lost art. I think sometimes we always talk about the catcher and the throw has to be there. I mean, if you see that in full speed, how quick his hands are to slap that tag down. He made up a lot of ground on Elvis Andrus. You didn't think it was going to be close when he took off.
He's about to go 6 for 11. The first, talking about Ausmus with challenges, the first challenge lasted just over a minute. I mean, the umpires are here at the stadium just watching it on the replay board. The technology is so good here in the park, you don't even need to go to New York to figure out if the guy's out or safe, but he's out.
I was just so impressed by the job Avila did on that pitch. That's a curveball down and in. One of the most difficult pitches for a catcher to get himself set and make a throw. Watch the tag as you said here, Harold. The hands are so fast by Romine. The combination of the footwork and throw by Avila and the tag by Romine bails out Porcello.
This to me is a delay that this is too long.
No, not necessary. Need not be necessary. Now, they've got a lot of different angles they're looking at.
Well, all you need is one. He's out.
You're right. You're right, Joe. Hey, I'm going to take you back and look at Elvis Andrus' takeoff. He gets a nice jump. He's off and running, but right there, when he peeks back, he looks back, and I know he must have saw that it was going to be a breaking ball. Did not think it was going to be this close. This is almost like a courtesy slide. It sounds weird at home, but when you get a great jump, you know it. He sees the replay up on the board.
He can't even fake it. He was watching, too, with the rest of the stadium and the umpires.
Well, why would he look back, Harold? I mean,
there's strike 3, 2 out in the inning.
We used to see runners do that on hit and run.
Yeah, sometimes the glove is popping so loud, it almost sounds like a bat. And you wouldn't think so on a breaking pitch, so I can't tell you why he looked back on that situation. And some guys, Tom, when they run, they look. It's just a habit. They do it all the time regardless.
That delay took 1:32 seconds. And with the bases empty, now 2 out, the batter is Adrian Beltre, who is 1 for 2. His hit started the rally. In the 4th inning, a 4-run, 4-hit rally with an error mixed in to take the lead. First pitch is strike.
Yeah, he missed a breaking ball on his knee the first time, almost hit a ball at the ballpark. Then in the second at bat, fastball, he took it back up the middle. Porcello went away that time.
0-2. Tigers in the bottom of this inning will have the bottom of their lineup. Castellanos, then it's Romine and Davis.
It's a big play, that throw out. Huge. Changed the half inning.
And now Avila for the year, by the way, is 13 of 36 throwing guys out. Had a good year throwing it. 2 for 2 in this one. Ouch. That made Harold. Harold got a little upset with that foul tip.
Two-seamer just boring in on him.
Oh, my goodness. And then he took his wrap, this protective gear on his leg, and threw it away. Hold it, timeout. Adrian, you leave it on after this.
It looked like it got him above where that. Oh, maybe not. It got a lot of that protector.
And then he walked away and just threw it back to the bat boy. Like, is he going Rocky on us or what?
Here's an 0-2 pitch from Porcello. Pitch number 77 on the day. Not close.
You see his feet moving in the box. He starts dancing like this. That's when he's looking for that breaking ball. Right here is the ball back into his shin. Ouch.
Two out, bases empty, 1-2. 4-1 game. Texas on top. Game 3 of a 4-game set. That's hit a mile into the air. Foul. Wow. And it will end up out of play if it ever comes down.
So you like this ballpark, huh, Joe?
I do. I think this is a great ballpark. That's what you're talking about in the previous pitch.
Yeah. He does that. I remember George Bell. Remember George Bell?
Oh, yeah.
He used to do that. You know, looking for that hook. You'd see him, and then all of a sudden he'd jump up and start dancing.
And that's why catchers will eyeball a hitter. You try to pick up some of those tells as a catcher.
He's moving in there again. And he hits a rocket into left field down the line. It is gone for a home run. Feet were rocking in the batter's box, and then he takes one out to left. Home run number 5, and that makes it 5-1 here in the 5th inning. Texas on top.
Well, he got his groove on, I guess, huh? Mercy.
That's the 5th home run allowed by Porcello this season. And Beltre shot it down the line and out of the park.
He put on a show in batting practice today, and you know, again, he's getting that good feel. He's got that rock for it. Boom, something in. Talk to it. See you later.
And it disappears behind that fence. It extends off the foul pole. Clearly fair. Able to stay inside that pitch and just hit a blast down the line. Now with 2 out and the base is empty, the batter is Rios. The way Porcello started this game, he looked like he had shutout stuff. But a 4-run 4th inning, and now 2 hits here in the 5th in a 5-1 game. Here's a 1-0. That is foul, a ball and a strike.
I think that was just a mistake with the 2-seamer. He had shown him the 4-seamer up above the hands the pitch before. And that one just was higher than he wanted. Pitch previous to that, intentionally he wanted up. I think that was unintentional elevation.
A successful challenge in this inning to erase a base runner. Now another one. 3rd hit of the frame. It belongs to Rios. His first of the day. Alex is on, and from the stuff to the body language, Porcello looks like a different guy than he did over the first 3 innings.
Well, he sure does. He was boring that ball in on right-handers. Remember that? I want to take you back to Beltre's at bat here real quick. Remember when he hit the ball to his shin? Sometimes you know a guy's a hard sinker ball guy, and he took the shin guard and said, "Forget it, Joe. Forget it." I'm getting back in, and after that comes the home run. You know a guy's sometimes going to bust a ball in on you, and you get so conscious of protecting yourself instead of, let me get my hands out and quit worrying about a ball hitting me. And that kind of changed his whole at bat.
Here's Jimenez. He had a big hit. An RBI double in the 4th inning to put the Rangers on the board, and then a 2-out 2-run triple by Odor. Rougned, the 20-year-old, batting the number 9 spot, got that big one. Now another run on a home run by Beltre. Here's a 1-0. Breaking ball for a strike.
Well, I mean, Tom, what did Ron Washington tell us? You know, you're going to need the core of the guys to step up. Rios has got a hit. Elvis got a hit. Beltre hit a home run. You know, that's the core. And then the other guys just do what you do.
Yeah, I mean, guys like Odor, who's really being pushed out of Double-A ball, Donnie Murphy, Jimenez, you'll take whatever they can give you. But those veterans you talked about, Harold, those are the ones who do need to step up. And Ron Washington specifically mentioned Chu and Andrews, Beltre, and Rios.
The rookie just called up is getting loose. That's Knebel, former closer at Texas. Excited to see him pitch if he gets into this ball game with the kind of stuff he brings with him. But right now it's Porcello. Knebel's a guy that got 4 chances during spring training, and just, even though he was closing for Texas last year, here he is in the big league. Started the year at Double-A. He may make his debut here today. That's in the air to left. Davis is there. The inning is over, but in the frame, 3 hits, including one that didn't come back until the fan threw it back. Beltre. What shin protector? I got your shin protector. Out of here. 5-1. Texas on top halfway through it on a Saturday on Fox Sports 1. And Nick Martinez has flat out outpitched Rick Porcello, who came in with a 6-game winning streak.
I thought it would be total opposite. I really did, to be honest with you. But Martinez has been phenomenal. Attacking with the strike zone, ahead in strikes, just challenging the hitters.
And again, to bring it up, because we don't expect everybody to be with us throughout the entire game. I mean, this guy was a middle infielder in college, shortstop, second base. And it wasn't that long ago he was at Fordham. And now he's pitching in the big leagues at the age of 24, and he is shutting down the most productive offense in the American League, the team with the top team batting average, the Tigers.
3 years ago, playing second base at Fordham, and as you said, right now shutting down this great Tigers lineup. Still so impressed with how he controls the pace of this game. Really haven't seen him walk off the rubber at all, never mind the mound.
The 2-0 breaking ball stays up and in, or something off speed, and the count 3-0. This is one of those innings, though, that if you go to a staff ace, they're bearing. They've got a 4-run lead. You got the bottom 3 in the lineup coming up. Not a lot of hits down here. You can't walk the leadoff guy. There's a strike, 3-1. See if Martinez can come back and get Castellanos.
It's always a tough inning, you know, whether you're broadcasting, playing, or whatever. That 5th inning of the inning of record for that pitcher, they always seem to struggle.
Here's a foul, so now the count's full, 3-2.
And this is a guy with only 4 walks. Castellanos, he swings the bat more often than anybody in the league. So this is definitely not a walk if you're Nick Martinez, not even really in your thoughts. Never mind any leadoff hitter in this situation, but especially a very aggressive hitter.
4th big league start. His 3-2 pitch is on the outside corner, struck him out. And Martinez comes back for his 2nd strikeout, and he gets Castellanos to start the inning. Game break. Here's Kevin Burkhardt. So AJ doing some damage, and thanks Kevin. 1 out, nobody on. Out in front of the pitch is Romine. Strike 1. Here's strike 3 to Castellanos.
Right on the black.
Good framing by Jimenez as well. These two have worked well together. I would think, Tom, if you've got a pitcher that, as you've noticed, is not stepping off the rubber, is not walking around, is getting it and throwing it, he and the catcher Jimenez have been on the same page all day.
Well, what's so impressive to me is he's a true 4-pitch pitcher. You wouldn't think as a converted infielder. You know, you think maybe he's got a good fastball and you try to develop a breaking ball. Really impressed with his stuff. The changeup he threw first pitch here to Romine in this at bat. We've seen the good breaking ball. The command has been excellent. See why the Rangers really like this young arm.
Nothing but strikes since that 3-0 start to the inning. Now a ball to Romine. 1-2. So the big guy was Stephen Drew out there. He re-signs with Boston for about $10 million. There were teams waiting, it seemed, for the draft to come and go, so they didn't have to give up the draft pick compensation to Boston for signing Stephen Drew. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Back up the middle, and Romine, who homered last night, is 2 for 2 today. I know they're backing Andrew Romine, and I know he's platooning with Danny Worth. Whether it's the 2 minor league shortstops they have who are seemingly on their way to the big leagues, or making a deal for somebody outside the organization, it seems like that's got to be the priority for Dave Dombrowski the rest of, I would say, the middle part of this year.
You would think, you know, but talking with him in spring training this year, I had a long talk with him, and he said all we want is a guy to catch the ball. Remember, they started with Alex Gonzalez, and then he showed that he wasn't going to be as consistent as they thought he might.
Here's Davis flying one into left. Back at the wall. It is caught for out number 2 by Chu. Back to first is Romine.
Good little swing, but you know they knew all along what they had in Worth and also with Romine. As you see, Chu just so smooth going back, making this play. But I'm with you. You would think on paper and watching them play, hey, go get a shortstop. But they really feel confident their offense is, they have enough offense. catch the baseball for me. Kind of an old school St. Louis Cardinal type philosophy of years ago before Ozzie started hitting.
Well, they have a productive guy at second base, and it's this man, Ian Kinsler, who steps in. At least started the day tied for first in the AL, hitting .326. He's been aggressive his first 2 at bats. This time he takes. And so Kinsler, who's got a 9-game hitting streak on the line here today and is hitting .375, at least did in May. 4 doubles in this series against his former organization. He can do a lot of things. Hit for power, steal a base, not like he used to. Good, solid second baseman. And a check on Romine with 2 out.
Yeah, I think a lot of people said, well, he's really going to miss that ballpark in Arlington where he slugged over .500, had some really outstanding splits in terms of the home numbers against the road numbers, but I thought he did something smart, Harold. He lost weight over the winter, lost 20 pounds over the winter, and wanted to get back to being more of that base runner, a threat on the bases, a better defender, and playing in a park now where you're not going to be hitting 30 home runs, most likely, but take advantage of the gaps to be an extra base hit guy, the doubles and the triples.
Man, all these workout regimens these ball players have, they need to have their own infomercials.
Here's a jam shot base hit to right. Romine going station to station. He's at second with 2 out. And the batter will be Torrey Hunter.
He just fights this ball off. Remember, he got check swing last time with this, and he had the check swing dribbler with the same pitch. This time he finishes the swing and takes it to right field. And that's one thing a lot of people were asking Ron Washington. Well, Kinsler's hit the ball to right. And Ron said, well, I had him for 7 years. I've seen him do everything. 5 hit games. I've seen him lead off with homers. I've watched him hit the ball to right field. He's a ball player. What else can you want him to do? He's a ball player. Just my inner wash.
Here's Torrey Hunter. This is a big at bat. A big at bat for Detroit and a big one for Nick Martinez. Protecting a 4-run lead with Miguel Cabrera waiting on deck.
And here's what happens, Joe, when you have a lot of young players. All of a sudden, coaches want to coach now. You know, uh-oh, big moment. Let's have a meeting at the mound. Catcher come out. Let's go over something. I mean, it's like, let them play. They're okay.
Out in front of the plate was Jimenez. Here's the first to Hunter. Batting the number 2 spot, ball 1.
This is where Torrey feasts, too, because he knows they're coming after me. I got Miguel and Victor after me. I'm going to get a fastball to hit. And that's the advantage of being a veteran guy knowing this situation.
Torrey, who's about to turn 39 and showing no signs of aging to this point. He's been a good Tiger. Now the count 2-0. And Martinez, his incentive to make better pitches is standing in the on-deck circle. Got a 4-run lead. Miguel Cabrera next. And Hunter is looking for a pitch to hammer on 2-0.
I think at this point, Torrey's got to take 2 strikes. And get Miggy to play. 3-0. They're down, what, 3, 4? They're down 4. So a 3-run homer's not going to get it done. I want Miggy to play.
Runners at first and second with 2 out. 3-0 the count on Torrey Hunter. There's 1.
What do you guys think?
I think you keyhole a fastball right here and look middle in for a fastball. Anything else that's not right in your wheelhouse, you let it go.
Exactly. So I just took back my words, Joe.
All right. See what he does. 3-1 the count. And he chops one to short. Should have taken another strike.
Yes.
To force out at second, and Cabrera is standing in the on-deck circle as the inning ends. Tigers have left 4. We've played 5. 5-1 Texas. and down the lineup except for Mitch Moreland not in on the fun. Production out of the bottom part of the order, including Odor out of the number 9 spot. He's 2 for 2 with a 2-out 2-run triple. Home run for Beltre in the game. 5-1 against Rick Porcello. We go into the 6th inning. Sun breaks through the clouds and trying to bunt his way on as Martin strike 1. Leonis is 1 for 2 with an RBI single, run scored his last time. Donnie Murphy and then Rougned Odor will be the hitters here in the 6th. In the bottom of this frame, it'll be Cabrera, Martinez, and Austin Jackson. Time called late.
You see where the third baseman's playing at. A lot of times you think, hey, he's drawn in, so you're not going to think bunt, but he has to come all the way to the line to come back to throw a ball to first base. He's not really taking anything away from me if I really am thinking about bunting.
It looked like Martin and Porcello had words a moment ago. Breaking ball is fouled back.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah, Porcello is not in the mood to have the guy step out on him twice before he throws a pitch right there. He's ready to throw the ball. So get in the box.
Here's the 0-2. Hard hit, base hit, past a diving Cabrera into right, and Martin is 2 for 3. A rocket through the right side, and the batter will be Donnie Murphy. The Rangers are playing without one of the most productive and one of the most consistent players to come along in this game in a long while. Prince Fielder. There's the trade. Kinsler coming to Detroit. Money and Prince Fielder going to Texas. You see the 247 average, but Prince is going to have season-ending neck surgery and a fusion with the C5, C6 area, trying to relieve pressure on the nerve. He's got a disc issue, and he's lost for the rest of the year. Tied up is Donnie Murphy, strike 1.
And the Rangers will tell you he really wasn't right this whole year. They didn't obviously know that something was wrong. He didn't complain about anything until recently in this month. But you see they're one of the most durable players in the game up until this injury. I didn't think he was right at the end of last year. We talked a lot about where was his power. He has only 11 home runs in his last 115 games, including a postseason in which he had no RBIs. Again, he did not complain about it, did not get any treatment for anything last year. But I thought that was a compromised player at the end of last season, and certainly before he actually complained about it this year.
I guess the controversy, if you want to say there's one, there's our guy from Texas warming up in the bullpen.
Yes, Knebel.
But I guess the controversy is when he came over to Texas, they didn't give him a physical. I've heard that, but you go to spring training, you take an extensive physical nowadays. So they just weren't able to pick anything up.
1-1 pitch, runner goes, pitch inside, throw down is too late. Stolen base for Martin. That's his 10th. And like John Daniels, the general manager, said, even had we given a physical when the trade was made, a cervical MRI would not have been a part of it. So that would not have been something that we would have picked up when they made the deal. As you look at Ron Washington, I mean, he's missing that big run-producing bat. I thought he was going to be a perfect fit, and probably still will be, in that ballpark in Arlington, Texas. Here's a fly ball into right, carrying at the wall. It's out of here. A home run by Donnie Murphy. That's his 2nd. He goes the opposite way, and with the wind blowing out a bit to right, that thing just kept carrying, and it's 7-1. Didn't look like he got all of it. Evidently he did, and it's a 6-run game.
It almost looks like the same swing he swung on in this at bat. He drove that ball. Donnie Murphy got on a nice streak last year with some power.
Yeah, this is a good approach at the plate with the runner on second base. He wants to go the other way. He's thinking hitting the ball the other way, lets the ball travel. That's a great swing he put on that pitch.
How about the bottom 3 of the Rangers lineup is 6 for 7 against Rick Porcello, and that shot, the 2nd home run allowed by Rick Porcello in this game, makes it 7-1.
Well, the Rangers have finally got a chance. We've watched them run recklessly at times in this game. but really aggressive, and that's what they want to do. That's how they're going to be in games. And then maybe you're able to pop one like we've seen catch up to a couple today.
First pitch of ball to Odor, who's 2 for 2. Off the end of the bat to his right. Kinsler got a weird hop, made a good play. 1 out.
Well, that's a great call, Joe. That's a great play. That ball's spinning off the bat, kicks away from him. This shows you the athleticism you talked about, Tom, losing that weight and the flexibility right there for Ian Kinsler to be that athlete again.
He made that play look easy, and that was a very difficult play.
Porcello came into this game having allowed 17 runs all year. And as he works here, he's allowed 7 on 12 hits. And so dominant after 3 innings, but the middle innings have been unkind.
Look, this is a stretch where Scherzer got hit hard, Verlander got hit hard, and now you're seeing Porcello get hit hard in the same rotation. You know, around, they haven't gone second time around yet. That's after that Cleveland series.
Down and in 2-0. It's going to get lost when the story's written about this game. Just a routine Saturday toward the end of May. But the work that Nick Martinez did to come back from a 3-0 count to get Torrey Hunter in the bottom of the 5th inning with 2 on and Cabrera on deck may have changed the entire complexion of what we're going to see the rest of the afternoon.
You're absolutely right. It's a big, big play. Big at bat.
Now a 3-0 pitch coming to Shin-Soo Choo, who's 1 for 3.
You know, you guys were talking about Nick Martinez and as you see Choo walking the first, at Fordham being a second baseman. When have you ever seen a second baseman where they say, you know what, I think we're going to make you a pitcher? Second basemen don't have that kind of an arm where all of a sudden, hey, you're going to throw in the mid-90s and you got a chance to get to the big leagues as a pitcher, son.
Well, the first thing that Ron Washington told us about Nick Martinez was that he doesn't have a pulse, and we've seen that today. He is one cool cat on the mound.
Knebel's coming out of the bullpen. He'll make his debut. Porcello, he had won 6 straight. He leaves down by 6 in the 6th. Baseball into the glove of Corey Knebel for the first time in the big leagues, and some words of encouragement, maybe instruction, maybe getting the sign straight, whatever it is, with a veteran catcher Alex Avila, and this kid who was a 3-year closer at Texas, started the year at Double-A, and here he is in the big leagues making his debut, and he's got a Upper 90s fastball and a knee-buckling curveball. We'll mix in a changeup. That's about it. But here's the debut for Knebel, and we'll see what he does with Elvis Andrus.
That's the biggest change in the sport, is how fast guys are getting to the big leagues now. You just didn't see that in years past. Part of it's money. There's also talent. I think kids play, and they're bigger, they're stronger, they throw harder.
And they need more pitchers with all the specialized bullpens. Almost 700 pitchers in the major leagues last season.
Only threw 4 innings at AAA Toledo, as he brings in 95 for a strike to Andrus, who is 1 for 3. Kyle Crockett, the first from the draft last year to make it to the big leagues for the Indians, and now it's Knebel. Got a chance to show the Tigers what he could do in 4 games in the spring. Made his mark. Here he is. There's the curveball from 95 to 80.
That was filthy too. Watch the break on this ball. Watch Elvis Andrus buckle. No chance.
That'll make you flinch.
Impressive.
Runner at first, 1 out. Knebel trying to impress his new fan base. Overthrown fastball at 95 for ball 1.
Yeah, some guys throw hard and it's hard. Some guys throw hard and it looks like, wow, that looks hard. He looks like he throws hard. Hard, heavy ball.
Very quick arm action. It's kind of that old school combination too, with that good fastball and that breaking ball. It starts looking like a fastball, and whoop, bottom will drop out.
Breaking ball back to Knebel. Look what I found. I found a force out at second and nearly a double play. He didn't know he had it right away, and that may have cost him getting 2, but he does get the lead man.
He does, and you know, this is a nice turn by the shortstop. Watch this, and watch Miguel Cabrera's cheat here. And this is the other thing the replay does for you. You can't cheat as much as you used to in yesteryear. So the umpires are going to go ahead and, on the side of caution, call him safe instead of maybe out and get a replay for the cheat.
And just so you know, Ausmus, who's 2 for 2 in challenges, is out of challenges. He's got another inning to wait until the umpires take over. But here's that play at first, and a good call by the first base umpire, Jeff Gosney. So Andrus is going to run, and Mitch Moreland is the hitter. You know, the interesting thing about Detroit is they obviously are better, at least in my opinion, now that they have the closer they have in Joe Nathan. There's a good curveball, strike 1 on Moreland. But they've signed Joel Hanrahan, and if they continue to play the way they're playing in this division, they're going to have the luxury, it would seem, of time to round out the pitching staff and let Hanrahan get healthy. A guy who was so good, an all-star when he was closing games, to help the back end of the bullpen maybe be that 8th inning guy eventually later this year. That's inside, and no throw by Avila. Stolen base. And Andrus has his first of the day, his 12th of the year.
See how he peaks again, Tom? That's just his natural way of running down there.
Yeah, no shot for Avila right here. First thing those coaches will do is they'll put the stopwatch on the pitcher. See how long it takes them to deliver the ball to the plate. It's really a matter of mathematics. You get the right number, it's go time.
7-1 game, 2 runs here in the 6th inning on the home run by Murphy. The count goes to 2-1.
I wouldn't think Knebel will be adapt to holding runners anyway. He's been a closer all his life doing that. But Joe, back to your topic of the Tigers bullpen. I mean, that's been their bugaboo. You know, they got in trouble with Valverde last year, and Benoit struggled a tad bit, a little bit too. And they have that luxury to get Joel Hanrahan back if you can get him back.
Here's a fly ball into the gap, left center field. Back on the run. It's not made. The catch as Jackson was there and just could not haul it in. Another run to make it 8-1. As Moreland gave it a ride to left center, but Austin Jackson, glasses on his hat, not on his face, can't make the catch.
Yeah, the sun's popping in and out, and I'm not sure that the sun didn't affect him on this catch right here, because this is a ball that he knows that he's got to have.
You know,
what a long way to get it.
Yeah, it looked like he actually tracked it pretty well. didn't see him lose sight of it, but obviously the wall is bearing down on you. You're running a long way. Wasn't able to squeeze it.
That run is going to be charged to Porcello, who gives up 8 runs on 12 hits in 5 1/3, and now Beltre. Strike one. Still waiting for the official scoring ruling on this ball.
Well, and this is why it's probably going to end up being a hit. Look how far he goes to get this baseball, just to put himself in territory where he might get his glove on it, and that comes into account sometimes.
And it's a double. RBI double for Moreland, his first hit. So every spot in this lineup now has at least a hit.
Wow. Did you expect this offense?
No.
I didn't either.
And certainly not the way this game started, with Porcello just dealing over the first 3 innings. Beltre waits. Good breaking ball. And the count 1-2.
He's looking for. Look at the feet dancing. He was looking. Watch this swing. That is. I'm looking for your hook, son, and I'm trying to leave. Now he'll go back to try to protect.
Now? Yeah.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Runner at second, 2 out, and that's back to Knebel. The big body. Corey knocks it down, and the out at first to end the inning. Who's coming up for the Tigers? The answer, this man, Miguel Cabrera. He'll start it. Tigers have a long climb. The Rangers. And Nick Martinez in charge, up 7. The number 1 live streaming sports service, celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Visit MLB.com for details. First pitch up and in from Martinez, ball 1 to Cabrera. Michael Choice takes over in left field. As the first misses from Martinez, and now the second misses just inside. The count 2-0.
I'll give you a little more context of how unusual it is for Nick Martinez to be in this position. He was not invited to Major League spring training. They brought him to one game as what they call a just-in-case player. in case they run out short of pitchers. And he happened to have his name called. They brought him into the game. Ron Washington, the manager, had never seen him before. Washington goes out to the mound, and I'm going to clean this up for you. It says to Nick Martinez, "Who the heck are you?" And he says, "I'm Nick Martinez." He says, "Go get him, kid." And he turns to the umpire. Washington says, "That's Nick Martinez. He's my pitcher." It's the first time he ever met him. Did not even know his name when he brought him into a game.
And here he is starting against and pitching very well against the Tigers as he ties up Cabrera on a 3-1 pitch, and the count's full. He's made some pitches. This hasn't been done with mirrors. There hasn't been a whole lot of hard hit balls against Martinez today. Jammed him. But can Martinez get to the bag? The answer is yes. No problem for the former middle infielder to get over and cover first base, 1 out. Shin Soo Choo, by the way, left with left ankle irritation. So they get him out of the game. Choi takes over in left. That's why they made the change. Here comes Victor Martinez.
I thought you were saying he left shin.
No. Ankle. And that's the last thing the Texas Rangers need. I mean, every day somebody joins the list, whether it's severe or not, who knows, but that medical staff, the training staff, has been working overtime.
Yeah. Wow.
That drives Victor Martinez off the plate.
Hey guys, you see the shift on with him, with Victor Martinez on the left side of the plate. But as a switch hitter, I said this the other day, I think he may be one of the best. He may be the best hitter in baseball, and not just. I want to put it in context. Being a switch hitter, to do what he does on both sides of the plate and be as consistent as he is, and not strike out. 12 home runs, 12 strikeouts, and still throwing up, leading the league in batting average from both sides of the plate is just crazy.
Here's a 1-1. That's a base hit into left. For Victor, his second hit of the day, he is 2 for 3. And Harold, let's take a look at those 2 swings.
Well, here he is from both sides of the plate. Not a lot of switch hitters, and I'm speaking from experience because I was a switch hitter. Try to emulate the same swing from both sides of the plate. You're usually one other guy or the other. You know, you're natural right, and I became a left-handed switch hitter. Or I've been left-handed and I became a right-handed hitter to make me a switch hitter. I asked Victor before the game, I said, "How long you been switch hitting? When did you start?" And he said, "Oh, when I was 4 or 5, I can't even remember. I always switch hit." And that's so rare because even Carlos Beltran, I talked to him, he started when he was 19, when he signed with the Kansas City Royals. So, you know, to start at that early age when you're 4 or 5 years old and not know which side is your natural, that's how you become such a great hitter on both sides.
Here's Austin Jackson. A strike.
Well, what I got a kick out of was after the hit, he's pointing over to Adrian Beltre saying, "How could you play me to pull like that? You know I used the entire field." And I'm with you, Victor. I wouldn't shift on that guy. He's got 2 hits to left field today. And it's really not that different from any other day.
Well, that's the crazy thing is you follow the data, and with the data, a lot of times we take it away
Check
from the
this
players.
out. He's not. What are you playing me over there for?
I'll wear you out all day long.
Beltre saying, "I don't have any shot at that."
Crazy. There's only a few guys in the game that can sit there and do that. That's why they put all these shifts on.
There's that stat you're talking about, Harold. That's amazing in today's game. 12 strikeouts, 12 home runs.
Yeah, and we were marveling at the year George Brett put together in 1980. Get to that in a little bit, Joe.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. In the meantime, from Martinez, 1 on, 1 out. Base hit left field. Tigers making noise in the 6th. Austin Jackson has his first hit of the day.
Goes back even more to your point with the Torrey Hunter at bat. Because you had Martinez in a corner, and Torrey ended up not getting a good pitch to hit 3-1, ground out to short. You got Miggy coming in and the rest of the order. And you know the kid's get a little bit tired. You got a little pressure on him. That might have been it. And you're right. That at-bat's going to get lost in this game.
Mike Maddox out to talk to Nick Martinez. At the moment, the bullpen is quiet in a 7-run game. But with these Tigers, it doesn't take much to make you get a little squeamish in the other dugout. Talked about the home runs compared to strikeouts, and Martinez 12 and 12. 12 over the boards, 12 strikeouts. More home runs than strikeouts in a season, 56 times since 1900. DiMaggio was the king. The last one to do it in the National League, Barry Bonds, 45 and 41. That was in 2004. George Brett in 1980. 24 home runs, 22 strikeouts, and then the great Joe DiMaggio. I mean, the career numbers are ridiculous. 369 career strikeouts for DiMaggio. 361 career home runs. He only struck out 8 more times than he hit a home run in his career. Now ball down and in to Avila. 1941, DiMaggio, 30 home runs, 13 strikeouts.
Taking nothing away from Joe D. Much harder to do in today's game.
With the specialty pitching.
With the specialty pitching, the velocity, all the different pitches in the game today, all the number of pitchers that you have to cover in the course of a season. What Victor Martinez is doing is just amazing.
You know, I would go to 1980, though. The game was pretty advanced. And George Brett hit almost 400 that year. 22 strikeouts. I mean, that's incredible. What did he hit that year? 385, 390? I mean, he chased 400 most of the summer.
Right. I'm surprised nobody's up for Texas in their bullpen. And as I say that, they get up and will start to work because Martinez with 2 on 1 out is falling behind Avila 2-0. And now a little shot into left. It's going to bounce in for a hit. Maybe. Safe at third as the throw got away. They had a shot at the lead runner Martinez. Choice fired. It went off the glove of Beltre. And they panicked a little bit. They had more time than they thought.
Well, you know what happened is they have the shift on with Beltre. He's playing more away from the bag. Now you got to hit him on the run. Watch where Beltre's at when the ball sails over. He's over basically in the shortstop position. Now he's got to sprint back, and you're asking the guy to hit him on a move like a quarterback. As opposed to if he was over by third base, all he does is just turn around and he's standing on the bag. So
Martinez was caught because he didn't know if the ball was going to be caught or not. That's why he was late getting over there. And Beltre didn't realize, Tom, they had a play on the guy at third, Martinez, until too late in the process.
And Choice, really, you're right. He didn't hurry that. I'm not sure he had a great grip on the baseball. It looked like it caught him on the heel of the glove.
Here's a wild pitch back to the screen, but not far enough. It bounced pretty much straight back toward Jimenez. And good base running by Martinez to stay put and not run into an out.
Yeah, Martinez, and I was looking at Austin Jackson because a lot of times what happens, he thinks this guy's going to score. Watch Austin Jackson. He's going to get way down the line, but he keeps his head up, and he goes back. How many times do we see that runner at second run that guy off at third, and there goes your inning?
Tollison getting loose, the right-hander. As the Tigers try to make it interesting here in the 6th. That's a line drive out. Throw to first. Safe. And Moreland missed the bag with his left foot, and he doesn't argue. Ron Washington's going to at least walk out there, and they're going to go to the replay now in the Texas clubhouse to see if Moreland hit any part of that bag, because he looked like he missed it from up here.
Got it.
He got it.
And so now we're going to get him. Now this is the 3rd challenge of the game, and he looked like he did catch the back corner of it. Yep.
Was it on time? See, there's so many different angles they go with, right? And
I think it was on time, and I think if they call it the way we're looking at it, I think that ends the inning.
I think you're right. It's another really high leverage play here. Game-changing type calls that we're seeing today.
If his foot comes down, obviously before that right hand gets on the bag, I think he's got it. And it looks like that's what happened as Avila kind of stuck in the dirt going back to the bag.
I think you're right, Joe. Tell you what, replays change the game. You know? Because they're still playing ball this half inning. He's out.
And you see the first base umpire, Jeff Gosney. That's a very tough call for him. He's really screened out by Moreland to try to see when that hand touches the bag.
And he's out in a quick overturn of the call. Ron Washington is now 5 for 10. He's hitting .500 in the challenge department. Let's go to the 7th. Rangers up by 7. There for the 7th. Alex Rios 1 for 3. Chris Jimenez, the catcher. Leonis Martin, 3 hitters he has to deal with. $13.5 million option for next year is what the Rangers have on Alex Rios. And it'll be really interesting to see as they go through the rest of this year how, if they can hang on, if they add, find somebody to help out at first base, somebody like Kendrys Morales, or if they sell pieces. And if they do, this guy would be right at the top of the list for the Texas Rangers getting dealt to a contender.
Yeah, it's interesting, Tom. You think back when he got traded from Toronto to the White Sox and then here to Texas, his price tag was like, oh my gosh, what are they doing? Now he's dropped back down to earth a little bit.
Here's a breaking ball that's hit into center. He's 2 for 4 on the day. And he's on to start this 7th inning. Back to that double play.
Well, you know what? We always talk about baseball being a game of inches. It's a game of angles as well. And this double play's turned because he has a left-handed first baseman. He throws this to the inside to a right-hander. That ball's going to hit the base runner or be over his shoulder. Here, the left-hander opens up to the outside. He's got an area to throw to that allows Moreland to get back. That's a right-handed first baseman. I don't think they have it. But, Tom, you take it to another level.
Well, listen, the only reason they have a shot is that just poor base running right there by Avila. I mean, he really took about 3 steps after the ball was hit. I know he's trying to cheat, get a good secondary lead there, but you really cannot get doubled up as the trail runner right there. And I know people will say freeze on a line drive. Well, even that's wrong. On a line drive, you should immediately start going back to the base. He took 3 steps forward. So to me, it's just bad base running. After this game's over, Joe, let's burn the tape so we don't use it as an instructional video for the kids out there about some of the base running we've seen in this game.
Well,
it's been absolutely horrible.
Especially situations. You're down 7. You're not going anywhere. You got to play base to base. And that's really the big mistake more than anything else. And those are mental mistakes more than anything else.
Counts 0-2. It's been 3 straight curveballs from Knebel. One was hit up the middle by Rios, and 2 strikes on Jimenez. Here's the next. Fastball misses down and away. Meanwhile, that last replay in the appeal to New York took 56 seconds. That was the shortest of the 3, and I think it's the big picture. It's worth about 3.5 minutes of delays to get these calls right, and that's what we've seen here today.
You're right.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. That's strike 3, 1 out. As Jimenez strikes out. First in the big leagues for Knebel. How about tonight on the Fox Network? We've got baseball and good matchups for you. It's the MLB on Fox. Baseball night in America, 7 Eastern. Cardinals and Reds, Royals, Angels, the Nationals, and the Pirates. Well, there you go with Albert Pujols, who's at 13-30. The Angels, after a slow start, have solidified their spot out west, and they are at the start of the day just 2.5 games out of first behind Oakland. Strike 1 on Martin.
They've really come back to the fold, and they're playing good ball. This is what they had hoped and anticipated. They still don't have Josh Hamilton back healthy.
Working his way back.
I saw they shut him down. You see, they took him out of the lineup. He was having discomfort in that repaired thumb.
Oh, wow.
On
a rehab. So they took him out of the lineup. So that can't be good. Here's a pitch up and away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Didn't know that. I watched him hit the other day on ballpark camera. He swung back terrific in Anaheim, just letting it fly. So that's disappointing to hear.
1 ball, 1 strike. A runner at first, 1 out. Martin's hit the ball hard twice. He's 2 for 3. He takes down and in 2-1.
Well, you'd think the way Oakland's played, they'd be up 30 games. I mean, they've been killing it. Offensively, pitching, everything. To hear they're only up a couple of games. That's interesting.
Despite the hits they took to their starting rotation, they've been able to piece it together. Here's a 2-1 that misses. 3 balls and a strike.
Well, Hamilton, of course, went on the DL with that head-first slide in the first base. Take a look at the AL West standings. They've 7 games over without him at this point. We saw another young star player, Nolan Arenado, of the Rockies, slide head-first into a bag and hurt his finger, and he'll be out.
Napoli.
Mike Napoli, Ben Zobrist, Bryce Harper.
Oh, come on, learn how to slide, guys.
You know what? Guys are going to keep sliding head first. I get it. But I think what we can change are the bases themselves. I mean, they used to be called bags because they were soft. They were bags, literally. These bases are bricks. And we keep seeing star players get hurt on head first slide. I'm telling you, they're not going to stop sliding head first. Let's come up with a base to protect the player's hands.
It was a walk to Martin. Your thoughts?
I just think they can't slide.
Did you slide head first?
Yeah, all the time. I don't know. Maybe the bases are harder than when I played, 15 years ago or whatever. But what I'm seeing a lot, Tom, is you have to pay attention. Guys are starting their slides too late. And we saw it for years with feet and guys jamming their ankles or whatever. Now you're doing it too late with your hands. And that's even worse.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. It's in for a strike. Donnie Murphy homered his last time up. He's 2 for 2 plus a walk. You start softening the bags and you're going to get turned ankles going around the base.
I mean, I hate to sound like, my dad and guys back when I played, that type of thing. But I do think that we've taken, the kids are not playing games in the backyard. Dive, slip and slide, jump around, learn how to, and we don't do that anymore. We're so worried about guys getting hurt. And you have to be able to learn how to slide. I'm serious. In the major league camp, before you were even ready to play a game, it sounds so infantile. but they made us put on sliding pants and slide before you played a major league game, even if you'd been playing 10 years.
That's a great point. Actually, I was just talking to Brad Ausmus about that in the Yankees camp. They'd bring all the guys to the backfield. They'd have extra pair of pants you put over the pants that you were wearing for practice, and you'd slide on the outfield grass.
Yes.
I don't see anybody doing any of that. The Dodgers in Vero Beach used to have a sliding pit to let guys practice sliding.
You have to practice it. I mean, it's just part of the game, and we run guys out and go say play baseball. You have to practice that. I think it's important.
Knebel's working his way into a tight inning here. He's got 2 on, 1 out. The count's 3-1 now. The bases are loaded.
So you don't like my idea about the softer bags, huh? Joe's worried about turned ankles.
I'm with Joe on this.
Yeah, but you've picked up a base. Lou Piniella, Lloyd McClendon, they've picked up bases, right? They're hard to throw. Why? Because they're really, really heavy. I think people would be surprised at how heavy those things are.
No, you're right. They are hard. Ricky didn't have any problem. I'm the greatest.
Probably slid head first more than anybody in history.
I don't know. I still think it comes down to the kids have to play. And you have to, I mean, you guys all play. We all play wiffle ball in the backyard. You're sliding, diving all over the place. I don't see that as much anymore. We have so much organized baseball instead of kids picking up pickup games and different things like that.
Yeah, most amateur leagues are going to have rules against the head first slide. Guys, once they get to college, can go ahead to those head first slides. And that's where we're seeing the injuries, the head first slides. Now, first base, I think it's a terrible play. The other bases, again, guys are going to do it. I don't think we're going to tell people don't slide head first.
Here's Odor, the 20-year-old. With the bases loaded, 1 out opportunity for Rugned, who's 2 out of 3. Youngest guy in the big leagues. Leans back, and Knebel is finding out that for a guy that started the season at Double-A, pitched 4 innings at Triple-A, these hitters up here a little bit more selective.
Yeah, and the key is he's going to have to throw that breaking pitch for strikes. You can't miss with it when you do.
And he can't throw strikes now. He's walked the last 2. He's got his parents and his little brother in town. They got here from Austin just in time for yesterday's game when he got called up.
He might be in tears right now.
Bases loaded, 1 out, 2-0 the count.
He's scuffling a little bit.
Odor has got the count in his favor, and time is called.
This guy's got a bright future, though, and he's not up here just to be up here. And he may go back and have to come back again, but you can see the electric fastball, the sharp breaking pitch. And there's some nerves that come into this as well. It's his first major league outing.
He got out of the 6th inning, allowed an inherited runner to score. Now he's in trouble in the 7th. And he finds a strike zone at 93 to make it 2-1.
Rugned Odor is like, okay, I'm here now. We're equal. I was in Double-A. Let's go. You know, he's feeling pretty good up
He's
there.
only played 62 games, Odor, above A ball. As you said, Joe, the youngest player in the game.
Here's a 2-1. 2-2.
Been impressed with Odor, though, man. Watching batting practice today. Watch this swing right here.
Gets a little big right here. Why not? Count in your favor. Bases full.
Yeah. 8-1 game. Why not?
2-2 the count. Full count.
See how he's swinging that bat around? It just shows I got hands, man. He's got hands.
I can tell you, the Rangers will tell you one thing he does not lack in: confidence. One of the most confident players you'll ever come across, Odor.
Bases loaded, 1 out, 3-2 pitch. Fouled away. He's wearing number 73. It brings up my pet peeve, but I'm not even going to get into it.
I hate it. I hate it. Those big numbers.
The big
No,
numbers.
he's got another pet
No, there's
peeve.
a reason why. Because coaches wear numbers. Coaches don't need to wear numbers. It's ridiculous. Just put their name on their jersey. The bullpen catcher's got a number. These guys come up, they're marketing jerseys and athletes, and they're wearing 73. Here's a 3-2 pitch. That's driven in the air to right. That ball is pounded back at the wall, off the wall, And that's going to empty the bases. 1 run scores. Here comes another. All 3 on the second triple of the game for Rougned Odor. Number 73, right fist into the air. The youngest kid in the big leagues has got a 5 RBI day and 2 triples.
So you could just see he was so locked in, the concentration. He doesn't miss it this time. You got an Odor Rougned. That's impressive.
Yeah, there is a lot of swagger to this kid. I love the way he went after the 3-2 pitch, fouled it off, and now this one, he's in swing mode all the way.
He's flying. 20 years old.
20 years old. He's got a younger brother who probably will be one of the bigger international signings of the July 2nd signing period. And his younger brother's name, Rougned.
What?
Same name. Different middle names.
Like George Frazier? Foreman?
George Foreman.
George Foreman naming all his kids. You can't come up with another name other than Rougned. Come on now.
I mean, Rougned Odor.
They like the name.
Got such a nice ring to it.
He's got an uncle named Rouglis, too, who's a hitting coach in the Indians.
No, you're making that up.
It's all true, folks.
You're making that up. Rouglis.
I got more when you come back.
If they come back. 11-1. Rougned. Is back. Some of baseball's biggest stars are scheduled to visit and appear in Fan Cave videos. Check out all the latest cave happenings at MLBFanCave.com. Follow at MLB Fan Cave on Twitter and like the MLB Fan Cave on Facebook. Runner at third, 1 out. Rough outing in the big league debut of Corey Knebel. He ends up going 1 full inning. He is responsible for the runs that have scored the 3 here in the 7th. He's also responsible for the guy at third. The infield is in. First at bat of the game for Michael Choice took over for Shin-Soo Choo as Phil Koch, who has struggled for the most part this season, misses high with ball 1.
Yeah, Phil Koch the last couple seasons he's kind of struggled. They need to get him turned around if you're going to use him effectively. And again, we talked about this a little bit earlier, Joe, that bullpen with the Tigers.
Changed up on him and a swing and a miss by Choice.
Yeah, this is a good indication of how much he's scuffled to get him out here in an 11-1 game. Try to get something positive out of it for Phil Koch.
So 2 out of the bullpen in relief of Rick Porcello. Runner at third here in the 7th. That hits the inside corner, strike 2.
His body language, he being Coke, is a lot better. Man, that's an impressive line for the Rangers. Bottom of the order, though. 7 for 9.
As Ron Washington said before the game, they can't really rely on that group, but they're getting production out of those guys on a Saturday in Detroit. That's in the dirt, 2-2. You've got Martin has 2 hits and a walk. Donnie Murphy's been on base 4 times with a homer, a single, 2 walks, 3 runs scored, 2 RBIs. And Rougned Odor, the number 9 man, has a 3-run triple and a 2-run triple to go along with a single. Choice batting for Chu, who was 1 for 3 while he was in there. He strikes out.
Big strikeout for Coke, and his body language looks better. Give me the ball, let me throw it, and let me get rid of it. Let me ask you guys a quick question, though. Are you a little concerned about the Tigers in this stretch? They haven't played very good ball in the last week. They were killing everybody early. And this stretch right here, not good.
To me, they're so built for the long haul that with this staff and this rotation, so they lost 4 in a row. They win yesterday. Wouldn't concern me. What about you, Tom?
No, I'm with you because of the starting pitching. I mean, Verlander giving up 11 hits, and then Scherzer the next day giving up 7 runs. That's not going to happen again. Porcello today, obviously not on his game. They gave him a couple of extra days coming into the start because he had a sore side coming in. Not sure that affected him at all. Maybe the rest did. But that starting pitching to me is still top quality, top shelf. And that's why I agree, Joe, they're built for the long haul.
Pitch down and in. We heard from Justin Verlander. I thought it was a good point. Maybe it's been made a bunch of times and I wasn't aware of it, but it was obvious the last couple of postseasons that because they were a station-to-station slugging team here in Detroit, they couldn't really manufacture runs, and now they have a different look. They have that ability. So they're better defensively. They can manufacture more runs, and their rotation, Porcello not a good day, but still a great start to the season. They seem even more dynamic in their rotation with Drew Smyly, a pretty good number 5 starter.
Yeah, they're clearly way more flexible. The only thing that continues to be their Achilles heel is that bullpen a little bit. You got to get the ball to Nathan, and that's going to be the question mark for this club.
I agree with you, and I think for a lot of teams that's the case. It seems like that's what the trading deadline has become. You know, you go into a season with a plan for your bullpen. You hope some guys will pan out for you. Ian Kroll was one of those guys. Maybe he will from the left side for the Tigers. Chamberlain has turned out well for them. He's been throwing the ball very well for the Tigers. But I think when Dave Dombrowski goes down out there shopping, he'll be looking down the relief pitching aisle in July.
2-2 the count. Koch struck out Choice. Michael went down swinging, and now a chopper off the bat of Andrews. Going to have to be a tough play, and got him at first. Good work by Andrew Romine. Had to wait, show off the arm. Inning is over. It's a 3-run inning. It's an 11-1 game as we stretch in Detroit. boy, not fun for the Tigers and their fans, down by 10. It's the Game Changer Profile, brought to you by T-Mobile, official sponsor of Game Changers.
How about Mike Hessman? Toledo Mud Hens this week at his 400th career minor league home run. Still going strong. Do you see he has had some time in the big leagues, 109 big league games, but more than 1,000 minor league games. 36 years old, Mike Hessman.
Smoke.
That is a study in perseverance.
Wow. 400. That's Crest Davis right there.
There's Sean Tolleson taking over for Nick Martinez. I just don't think you can say enough for the job Martinez did against this lineup for Texas. They're looking for starting pitching. He is well on his way to his first big league win. It's his 4th big league start, and he earned it with the work he did here today.
Really did. And I think, Joe, you pointed out the biggest at bat was that Torrey Hunter at bat. Bases first and second, full count, and they end up getting the ground out.
Here's a fly ball foul down the right field line off the bat of Andrew Romine, who's 2 for 2. He homered last night, trying to pick it up with the bat and prove that he should be the shortstop going forward here with the Tigers. For Nick Martinez, 6 innings, 1 run, 8 hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, and a great pace, as you said early, Tom Verducci, a great tempo to the way he worked out on the mound. Tolleson deals, and the count stays 1-2.
So impressed with him. You know, ask all the Ranger guys about him, including pitching coach Mike Maddox, and they always talk first, not about his stuff, but about his presence on the mound, and I think we saw that today. A lot has gone wrong for the Rangers this season in terms of all the injuries, but a door open for Nick Martinez because of that, and he's taking advantage of it. They've got something here.
A strikeout to start the inning. Tolleson, who's trying to establish himself as a reliable man with the lead, albeit in this game a 10-run lead with a good pitch down and in on the left-handed hitting Romine, 1 out.
Yeah, it was such a late break on that slider. It almost looked like a cutter, and it very well easily could have been. It just, the late break is tough to pick up.
Rajai Davis will dig in 1 for 2, an RBI double. His first time up, then was caught stealing, leaving too soon, trying to pick the ball up out of those shadows. The bright sunshine behind the pitcher is Davis, who's hitting 280. The 1-0.
Hey, I want to go back to Rajai Davis pickoff, because when we were talking with Colby Lewis earlier, he said, hey, there's certain guys that have tendencies, and you study the different things, and he's a guy who likes to steal first pitch when he gets to second base. And so the pickoff was more not necessarily Rajai as much as it was the Rangers anticipating it. They knew he was going to go, you know, and so those are things you got to learn as a base runner as well, to tame back and understand that they got a scouting report on you, just like you might think you have a guy read. I thought that was a big turning point as well with the terrible base running, Tom, that's been the theme today.
Yeah, it's a great point, though. I mean, they have scouting reports on everything.
Here's a hard hit ball to second, gobbled up by Odor.
Was that some pretty hands out there picking that ball, or what?
I was shocked, and I felt like you were too, Tom, and maybe you were, Harold, when one of the two of you asked Ron Washington about Odor and about the other young second baseman, middle infielder Luis Sardinas.
Yeah.
Comparing those two to Jurickson Profar, who was Baseball America's top prospect last year. He's got a tear and a muscle in underneath his right shoulder in the armpit area. Ron Washington said those other two guys are probably more talented, and you can see a little bit of what he's saying, but that Profar kind of has that it factor about him that's tough to quantify.
Yeah, I was taken back a little bit, but after watching Rougned Odor play with his cousin, his brother, and aunt and uncle in the same name, but watching him play today, I'm telling you, his talent is off the charts. It really is.
Yeah, that did catch my attention, because Profar, I mean, let's face it, one of the best young talents in the game. So to say that a kid like Odor, just in terms of skills and talent, is above Profar, that caught my attention. And you're right, Harold, you're seeing that today. Soft hands, he's got pop in that bat. And again, there's a lot of swagger in that player.
Real quick, can I ask you, what are the other names? All right, real quick, we got 2 outs. You got to rattle it.
You want middle names, you mean?
No, I mean, you said he's got an uncle named
Rugless. He's a hitting coach in the Indian system.
Golly.
You can call him Rugi. How's that?
1-2 pitch is fouled away. Ken Rosenthal break this up. I know you can see why they like Odor.
You can, and there's only one Dustin Pedroia, guys, but Tom mentioned his confidence, his aggression out there, and you can kind of see a little bit of Pedroia in Odor. John Daniels, the GM, told me he's 5'8", the youngest guy in the big leagues, and he doesn't know that at all.
1-2 pitch is hit off the hand, shallow left. This ball might drop. It is in for a base hit. Off the bat of Kinsler, another multi-hit day for Ian Kinsler, who started the day leading the American League in average at 326. He's 2 for 4.
Well, this ball falls in because Kinsler's got some power. You know, and that's the separator between him and most second basemen in the big leagues, is he's got that ability to hit you 20, 25 home runs. So you got to play him with a little respect. He's going to get those balls that fall in.
Andrews couldn't get out there. We heard Ken Rosenthal bring up the name of Dustin Pedroia, who's, just for the casual baseball fan, would watch Pedroia play for a couple innings and realize why he's as good as he is, the way he plays this game. I think Kinsler's in that mode as well. I mean, he's the kind of guy. Kinsler's a tough guy, plays the game hard. Had some things to say about the Rangers and their front office on his way out the door to ESPN, the magazine, but after kind of clarifying some of that when the Rangers came to town this week, I just think it added an element here that the Tigers desperately needed.
Well, I liked what Torrey Hunter said. We were talking to Torrey, and he said, listen, I knew the guy was a good player. He's even better than I thought, getting a chance to watch him play every day because he does so many things well.
Strike 2 on Hunter. He's in the hole now, 1-2 against Tollison.
That's good luck seeing that ball right there in these shadows. But that's high praise coming from Torrey. I mean, you're talking about Ian Kinsler, who's an all-star player, and that happens sometimes when you see a guy play every day. You appreciate it. Whether you're broadcasting, all of a sudden you see the guy play for a week in the postseason or something like that.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. A strikeout from Tollison as Hunter is 0 for 4 on the day. And it sends us into the 8th inning. 11-1 is the score. The Rangers on their way to taking 2 of the first 3 of this set. Sports 1 tonight with UFC 173. It's the prelims. Michael Chiesa takes on Francisco Trinaldo, plus other epic bouts. It all begins with a pre-fight show at 7:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. 3 changes for the Tigers. Brian Holiday takes over for Avila. Don Kelly takes over for Miguel Cabrera, and J.D. Martinez, formerly of the Houston Astros, is out in right. Phil Koch back to work. Moreland, Beltre, and Rios. The 3 to hit here in the 8th. In a 10-run game, it's 11-1. Koch hits 94 on the radar gun, misses with ball 1.
Maybe we'll see Danny Worth pitch in this game. Tigers infielder came in throwing 65-mile-an-hour knuckleballs.
Here comes a 1-0 pitch.
And actually, Brad Ausmus, the Tigers manager, told Danny Worth, I want you to throw a bullpen about once every week and a half. Just for those emergency situations.
It's not bad. I mean, we've seen guys get hurt. I don't care if they throw a knuckleball or if they're throwing 65-mile-an-hour fastballs when they have to come in and pitch. And all of a sudden they're asking their arm to do more than they usually ask it to do. And the next thing you know, they're on the DL.
Well, this guy at the plate, Mitch Moreland, had his opportunity last month.
He looked good, too.
Came in and threw 94 miles an hour. He's a college closer at Mississippi State. And Ron Washington told him, listen, don't spin the ball. No breaking balls. Just throw fastballs. He's been waiting for that opportunity for years.
A strikeout as Koch hits 93, and that's out number 1 in the 8th inning. Ken Rosenthal, you have more on this.
Well, Max Scherzer told me that Danny Worth actually has more in that arm, that he can throw the knuckleball 5 miles per hour harder. And if you remember Thursday night, guys, it was an impressive performance. Got Michael Choice swinging, Leonis Martin looking.
Yeah, so 2 strikeouts in that mop-up 9th inning as Beltre stands in. Adrian's got 2 hits, a single, a home run. The home run his 5th. This Texas club is led by Shin-Soo Choo with 6. Ball 1 outside as Neil Kotz, the left-hander, is getting loose.
You know, Bobby Cox never believed in having a position player pitch. He thought it was disrespecting the game.
Here's a 1-0. 2-0.
You carry enough pitchers. It's a game of baseball. It's the major leagues. Give the fans a true product. That's what he believed.
Headed into the Hall of Fame this July. Rather sour look on your face.
Well, I mean, I got a sour look because this is what the game is. It's become so specialized. There's no such thing as a long man anymore, and that's why we're running position players out to the mound.
2-0 pitch is inside from Koch.
I was talking to Mike Maddox, the Rangers pitching coach, about that. He said artificial finish lines. In other words, pitchers get out there and think, my job is just to pitch to 1 or 2 guys. That's it.
Who's this, Joe?
He's trying to change that. And we're running out of pitchers. I mean, the Brewers twice this year have used a position player with just a 6-run lead, or trailing by 6 runs. We're running out of pitchers. We're using so many of them.
There's a 4-pitch walk handed to Adrian Beltre. 1 on, 1 out from Phil Koch. Here it is, Thursday. There it is. Churning the stomach of Bobby Cox somewhere. A knuckleball. He had a strikeout swinging, a strikeout looking, and if there was one good thing to take out of, or at least fun thing to take out of a 9-2 loss on behalf of the Tigers to Yu Darvish, it was that. There's Alex Rios, 1 on, 1 out. Alex has 2 hits.
I tell you, I'm sitting here thinking about the Tigers, though. I mean, it's an attention getter. This will be 2 out of 3 to the Rangers. You lost, and you got swept by the Indians.
Sardinas takes over at first base for Adrian Beltre. Are you just talking just to talk? Or are you
no. I think there's got to be a little concern. I mean, there's come some point in time they're pretty loose, and I know they're veterans, but you need to sit down and say, "Hey guys, we got to kick it in gear a little bit."
Yeah, but
you know, you can get a little comfortable in that.
Well, I think they're going to be comfortable for the majority of the 2014.
I'm with you. This guy right there is going to stop streak if he has to. Then comes Scherzer. I'm with you.
They're just too good. They're too. Now, who knows where they go? You know, if they stay healthy, I just don't see anybody being able to stack up with these guys over the course of 162 games.
I think the Royals should make this team sweat. I don't think they should win the division going away. I really don't. I think the Royals have the talent to hang with this team. And I've been really disappointed that they haven't played better, because I think talent-wise that team can win 90 games.
They're under 500, 6.5 games out.
Yep.
Wow. So right now you've got really nobody pushing the Tigers.
No, and that's why they can kind of figure it out.
Here's a base hit right field. Third hit in succession for Alex Rios. And Phil Koch, who struck out the first man, Moreland, is allowed a walk and a hit. And now Jimenez. Here's what the Tigers have been doing and what they've done on the road. You see what they've done in the starting rotation. Their rotation, the ERA is outstanding. The talent, outstanding. Their team average leads the American League. And how about for a team that was last in the big leagues in stolen bases last year? They've already surpassed that and came in tied for first in the American League with your Kansas City Royals, Tom Verducci, in the stolen base department.
Yeah, what we didn't see there, too, is the improvement on defense. Much better defensive team this year than they were last year.
I don't care what they say. They're better with Cabrera off third base.
Yep.
And over at first base. 2 on 1 out. The pitch is inside to Jimenez.
They're a good team, man. And you look around, they got good players. I still think you got to figure some things out in this bullpen. It doesn't match the rest of the club yet. And when they get that, then I think they got a chance to win it and get back to a World Series and maybe win it. That's all. I'm looking for perfection, Joe.
Here's a 1-0 pitch.
Well, let's be honest, Harold. I mean, really, are there any great teams in the game today?
No.
That's good teams. Oakland's a good team. Detroit's a good team.
Yeah.
Is there a great team out there? I don't see it. Not even this Detroit team.
No, put it that way. Everybody's got their weaknesses. And the crazy thing is everybody wins different ways, different styles.
Here's a 1-1. Strike 2.
There's just so much parity in the game. In the last 8 years, we've only had 3 teams win 100 games. The 8 years before that, there were 16 teams that won 100 games. Why? Because they're more good teams. Talking about the middle of the pack. Look at your standings any day of the week now. A lot of teams right around 500. It used to be a bad thing to call a team a 500 team. You're in the race now at 500. That's not bad. You can hang in there.
Especially with an extra wild card spot out there. And so that makes it more difficult on a guy like Dave Dombrowski to add pieces in a bullpen. Those guys aren't just given away, and there are more teams that believe they're in it deeper into the season than ever before. Here's a 1-2 pitch. And it's out of play right side.
I like to say every year, and this is factually true except for 1 year, in the wild card era, there's at least one team that had a losing record 1 year. They're in the playoffs the next year. You got some choices this year. Teams that already look like they're going to take that roadmap. Turning around from a losing record last year to the postseason this year. Who you got, Harold? I know you like the Giants.
I like the Giants turning around, getting back in. I really do. I think they'll get back in it.
How about Toronto?
Boy. I don't know if they have the pitching, though. It's the only thing I question.
1-2 pitch is hit to third. Out at second. Wide throw, but a tag by Don Kelly to end the inning. Bottom of the 8th, rolls in. It's a 10-run game. Texas on top at 11-1. Sports is especially proud to recognize the Army's Gold Star Pin campaign, which honors the families of fallen service members. To learn more, please visit goldstarpins.org. So happy Memorial Day weekend to everybody watching. As there he is, the knuckleballer, Danny Worth, getting loose as Neil Kotz takes over. We're going to see Worth twice in 1 week. That's not a good sign for the Tigers.
No, but the funny thing is now he's called the knuckleballer. He's like, hey, hold it. I was a starting shortstop in spring training.
A strike from Kotz to Don Kelly, his first at bat, as Sardinha stays in the game. He plays third. He pinch ran for Adrian Beltre in the top of the inning.
He's the second youngest player in baseball, by the way, Sardinha. Danny Worth, I think he's the Tigers' version of $1 Million Arm. I think he won a contest to get a couple of major league innings on the mound.
Yeah, it was so bad for me one stretch. I threw BP to my group, and I knew then I was in trouble.
Pop up left side. It is going to go out of play off the top of the dugout. Showed you the slow motion video of Technical Sergeant Bradley Parks of the United States Air Force, who brought out the game ball for today's game with his son. Got a nice standing ovation here at Comerica Park, which is in its 15th year. They opened in 2000. Right next to Ford Field, which is, of all the dome stadiums, that one's the best. Here's a ground ball up the middle, gobbled up by the shortstop, and Andrus makes the play, 1 out. Kelly 0 for 1 on the day, and the batter will be Victor Martinez. The numbers for Kotz, 23rd game. Low stress situation, just out there to throw strikes. He'll deal with a DH. Victor, who is 2 out of 3 on the day. And after starting the afternoon 5th in the American League at 323, he's up to 329. Probably still trailing his teammate Ian Kinsler, who had a 2 for 4 day.
Yeah, Kinsler's at 330.
First pitch is down and in, ball 1. So now we get to see Victor Martinez bat right-handed.
And it's interesting, you know, we saw a little bit of a shift left-handed. Now look how they play him right-handed, straight up. And this is what's so great about Victor.
With 1 out, nobody on, a 1-0 pitch. 1-1.
Just so impressive as a hitter. And we were talking to Ron Washington about maybe some of the guys today don't do the little things right playing the game. And watching Victor last night, as well as he's been swinging the bat, he had 2 outs with a runner on second base, moving the runner over. And both times he really hooked outside pitches. Once ground ball to second base, once a fly ball to right field. Besides being a great hitter, he really knows how to play the game.
Three balls and a strike. And that really is obviously something that bothers Ron Washington. Situational hitting, assessing where a defense is playing you, assessing how a team is pitching you, trying to move guys over instead of just trying to hit the ball over the wall. Base hit, left side, hard hit. And the 3rd hit of the day for Victor Martinez. And when you pick up the paper in the morning or get online these days, he'll probably be leading the American League in hitting.
Oh, they just tweeted it. Sorry, Joe.
Right. 3rd hit of the day for Victor Martinez. He is a machine.
You can put this swing on Instagram right here. I don't do any of that social media, but I know the terms. Hey, this is beautiful. What a swing, huh?
Down and into the guy batting right-handed. I was here about that danger zone to guys hitting left-handed. He went down and in and hit a rocket through the left side. Now the batter's Jackson, 1 for 3. Ball 1 from Kotz. 13 guys on the disabled list for the Texas Rangers, and they've used the list 17 times for 16 different players. And yet they are on their way to taking 2 of the first 3 with 1 to go tomorrow in this series in Detroit. 2-0. Colby Lewis, 3-3. Coming back from hip surgery, will take on Justin Verlander, 5-3. Coming off a 6-2 loss in Cleveland when he went 6 and allowed a season-high 11 hits. This is a rocket out to left. Back at the wall. It is off the wall. Played back into the infield by choice, and it's a double for Austin Jackson.
I'll tell you what, I see that ball jump off Austin's bat right here, and it just tells me how big a yard this is. Miguel Cabrera makes this place look small. This is a big ballpark. Great swing, gets behind it, stays through it. He drives this. This is out of most ballparks. And this is what, 390 in the gap there? And Miguel makes it look like it's a Little League park.
It's 420 to straightaway center. And Cabrera, you know, is a guy that obviously can flip it out of the park in any direction. It's Brian Holiday, the catcher, the backup to Avila, who's hit well. Obviously, you look at the numbers when he's had his chance. Will walk in second and third, 1 out. The only bench player remaining is going to come into this game and pitch. Danny Worth.
Holland's like, great, I get the catch. Oh, a knuckleballer.
Here's a swing and a miss. JD Martinez at the plate. Holiday. They switch spots in the order. Avila came out, but Holiday, the catcher, is hitting down in the lineup, so it's JD Martinez with runners on at second and third and 1 out. But Holiday will get that chance to catch the knuckleball. Here's a little pop-up out behind second. Out goes Andrews. 2 out. And with second and third 2 down, the bat will be Castellanos.
This is the guy, one of the reasons they made the trade with Prince Fielder in the first place. They knew he was coming. They wanted to give him an opportunity to play third base and move Miggy back to first. And also, they had to make a decision financially. You know, if you were able to move that money, you know Miguel Cabrera's contract was coming. We haven't even talked about that. What's that, $300 million? Something crazy?
Yeah, it's and it carries him well past 40.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have a guy like Castellanos who can step in. You said, Joe, really, Miggy deserves to be, should be at first base back there. And nice that your farm system develops a player that gives you that option to move him over there. I love this kid's swing. He hits the ball to right field naturally with power. Like a lot of young players, the one thing he really has to learn is plate discipline.
Started the day number 3 in the American League among rookies with his 20 RBIs. He lined into a double play his last time up. He's hitless on the day. That gets away and will not play to run.
That's twice today.
Same guy, Victor Martinez, running at third. It went off the glove, off the screen. There's not a lot of room back there, and Victor Martinez just stayed put.
Probably a good idea, down 10.
Yeah, I would say so. Just hang on, Victor.
Yeah, you just hit. Don't worry about anything else.
He got a break, but read it. Decided better of it. So the count's 3-0. And now a strike.
Now, I was talking to Castellanos before the game. His dad is in town, and his dad used to throw to him all the time. He was a left-hander. Said, my arm still hurts. But he said, hey, that's one of the reasons he hits left-handers so well. And that makes sense. I mean, you grow up facing your dad your whole life, and he throws left-handed. I saw it work the same way with Griffey.
That'll load him up with 2 out.
Everybody wondered why Ken Griffey Jr. was such a good hitter off of lefties. He faced his dad in batting practice his whole life. He's like, I don't know what hand people throw from. I just see the baseball. Made sense.
Well, here's Romine, whose platoon partner is going to be pitching in the top of the 9th inning. Romine has 2 hits, 2 for 3 with a pair of singles. He's got the bases loaded out in front of him, 2 out. And he chops one to third, backing up, and living to tell is Sardinas. Gets the out at second, and we go to the 9th inning in Detroit. All Texas, all day for the most part, up 11-1. On your favorite mobile phone or tablet, get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio free, MLB.tv, game of the day, and more. Download the app at the App Store or visit MLB.com today. Second time this week, he pitched on Thursday. Second time this series for Danny Wirth. He's an infielder by trade, but in this series, he's made more of an impact throwing his knuckleball as he misses inside ball one to Leonys Martin.
It's impressive, too, man. The ball's moving all over the place.
Hard hit to the first baseman. One away. For those of you tuning in for the UFC 173 pre-fight show, we'll get you out there immediately at the conclusion of our game. In the meantime, the broadcast is currently available on Fox Sports 2 and streaming live on the Fox Sports Go app and at foxsportsgo.com. Here's Donnie Murphy. What a day he's had. A single, a 2-run homer, 2 walks, 3 runs scored, 2 RBIs, and now he's trying to figure out a knuckleball throwing infielder.
This is a great idea, isn't it? I mean, this is not just a novelty. I mean, granted, it's not exactly a high leverage situation, but to have a guy you can put out there, that's legitimate knuckleball, Harold.
That goes behind the back of Murphy.
Yeah, it is, Tom. No, he does. The first pitch jammed him. That one got away a little bit behind him.
Am I wrong in thinking, and this is simplifying it too much, but a knuckleball is a knuckleball. It doesn't matter where it comes from. So when you talk about a guy out there throwing an 80-mile-an-hour fastball and a bad slider, as a position player that's just getting an inning in, it's different with a guy that can throw an effective knuckleball. And guys try it and can't throw it. He can.
Absolutely. I mean, if you can do it, he could have a career change.
2-2.
I guarantee you the Rangers hitters don't want to see Danny Wirth. First of all, it's a no-win situation against any position player on the mound. But a guy throwing a knuckleball, they don't want to be a bet.
So he pitched a scoreless 9th inning on Thursday in a 9-2 game. He's in an 11-1 game, and that stays up and in the count full 3-2.
I want to see what happens when you're ahead in a game and you bring a position player in to pitch. You know what I mean? We always see it the reversal when the team's getting blown out.
And just a little chopper, tough play. Holiday, he got him, 2 out.
I was saying let Wirth field that ball. That's the shortstop throwing that ball. Let him get it. But what a play by Holiday.
He's thinking like a pitcher now. Let the catcher take over.
So Holiday makes the play. And here's Max Scherzer, the reigning Cy Young Award winner in the American League. And Justin Verlander, they're out there in the dugout watching this. An effective knuckleballer is Danny Wirth, who will deal with Rougned Odor, who's had a nice day.
Yeah, let's see if he can get another triple.
He's got 2 and 5 RBIs.
Second youngest American League player with 2 triples in a game. Only Jimmy Fox was younger.
There's a strike.
Career day.
Guarantee you Ryan Holiday hasn't caught a lot of knuckleballs in his day either. And he's done well with it. As a little flare is going to go into left field. That ball's going to drop. It's a fair ball.
Look at this.
And it's a bloop double down the line by Odor, who's got 3 extra base hits, has a 4-hit day out of the number 9 spot.
Good for the little man. Look at the movement on this.
Well, that's a good pitch.
Yeah, it is.
Looking for no rotation, and he has very little.
He's really got a knuckleball. Somewhere I can hear Necro saying, hold it, time out.
I can help him.
I can help him.
Huff, Wakefield. There's a strike. Being able to control that pitch enough to throw it over the plate from 60 feet 6 inches is an art for a guy that hasn't done it much.
He's making it look easy. Those guys practice how many hours doing this?
Here's a fly ball into left. This ball's well hit at the wall. It is off the wall, and a run will score. Back-to-back doubles with 2 out as Odor comes to the plate. And Michael Choice has got an RBI double to make it 12-1 here in the 9th inning.
Somewhere R.A. Dickey's going, whew.
There goes the ERA.
Can't make me look bad.
Just sat up there, up and in, and Choice drove it to the track in left center. Here's a ground ball right side base hit. Choice is going to be held at third.
All right already. Let's get an out.
You're off the whole knuckleball thing now?
I'm done.
Forget it. Just
bring the lefty in.
Here's Moreland. Moreland has one hit, an RBI double. Most runs and hits allowed by the Tigers this season, 12 runs on 19 hits. Ball one with runners at the corners.
He may have to ice down after this one.
I'm telling you.
16th pitch coming up right here.
The 1-0. Should end the inning. The flip. Worth covers. 1 run on 3, hits 2 left. Worth has given 2 innings in this series on the mound. Bottom of the 9th inning rolls in. Detroit coming up. Not having any fun here today, except watching Danny Worth pitch. Are the Tigers and their fans. It's 12-1. For the 23-year-old right-hander Nick Martinez. He did just a little bit of everything. Was in control from the start. 6 innings, 1 run, 8 hits, 2 strikeouts, only 1 walk against this outstanding lineup. And he's going to get his first big league win. He is the Burger King player of the day. And that's brought to you obviously by Burger King. So 6 innings for Nick Martinez. The bullpen has been shut out since he left after 6. And now Aaron Porreta, one of the 3 left-handers the Rangers have in their pen, takes over, fires a strike.
Wow. He's got a good-looking arm.
He's got good numbers, too. 14th game for Porreta. Rajai Davis first up. Then it's Kinsler. Then it's Holiday.
Backed it up with a changeup. Tell you what, it really is amazing how many guys throw mid-90s in baseball.
What's amazing is you're talking about the draft coming up, the first-year amateur draft coming up in a couple of weeks, and they say there's as many as 90 high schoolers who are throwing above 95 miles an hour.
How many?
20. There's 20 high school kids throwing above 95.
And 90, some over 90.
Yeah. I mean,
what?
Yeah.
And how many of those kids will be visiting Dr. Andrews?
That's the key. Are they throwing too hard, too young, and too much?
The 0-2 pitch is inside.
For a lot of them, the answer is yes. I mean, go back to Justin Verlander. In high school, he topped out at 94. You know, wasn't drafted out of high school. He actually had an illness his senior year. His velocity dropped, but he grew into his velocity later on. He wasn't throwing 100. Didn't have major league velocity as a high schooler. But you're seeing more and more major league velocity on 17-year-old arms. Amazing.
Well, and the other thing that happens, it's like if you drive your car 120 miles an hour every day, it's going to blow up eventually. You know, it's not warranted that way. It's not warranted that way. You're not supposed to do it that way. It's not built for that. And the same thing with the arm.
Somebody has to tell Puig that. Here's a 2-2 pitch, up and away, full count.
Yes.
People wonder why those injuries are piling up. 19 guys with Tommy John surgery since the calendar turned.
39, including minor leagues.
All right. Wow. Full count to the leadoff hitter Davis. And a rocket into left. That ball might leave the park. At the wall, it is off the wall. And Rajai Davis has a double to start this ninth inning. He hit that right on the nose.
You're right, Harold. It is hard to leave this yard. That was loud again.
Wow. That's almost back to the same place Austin Jackson hits this. And Rajai actually thinks he's got this. Some great camera shots here today on these swings. Been phenomenal, guys.
Just a crisp sound off the bat and then off the middle part of the wall. And a little sliding glove on the left hand for Rajai Davis, who was caught stealing earlier in the game. He's got his second hit. Here's Kinsler. Strike one. Ian is 2 out of 4 on the day. Hitting .330, 21st multi-hit game. That leads the American League for Ian Kinsler. Here's the 0-1. Strike two. I think there is something, though, to not only kids throwing too much, too hard, too many pitches, too often. I mean, in the good, even the real good high school rotations, there's 2-3 guys that they trust to go out there. Little leagues, it's the same kid game after game after game. Runner at second, nobody out. Pareda brings it home, and a foul. There's got to be something, though, too, to the amount of bulk pitchers are putting on the muscle above and below this ligament. The ligament doesn't get any bigger, but it's under more stress with the amount of weightlifting that's being done by guys. And it, you know, at the big league level, guys would roll into camp and they weren't lifting weights all off season and doing stuff like that.
Especially for the young pitchers. You're absolutely right, Joe. We do a great job in terms of training pitchers, getting them stronger, and strengthening the muscles, but you can't strengthen that ligament. A 17-year-old ligament is a 17-year-old ligament. You cannot strengthen that. You can strengthen the muscles around it, so that's being stressed more and more. You know, I had a trainer from a major league tell me, you would not believe the medicals we're looking at for these pitchers in the draft. They're scary already. This is when they should be fresh. And he said there's going to come a day the majority of pitchers are going to come from the northern states.
Because of less games. Here's a chopper up the middle. That's going to play Davis and make it a 12-2 game. It's a 3-hit day for Kinsler. RBI number 22. And those who remain, the Tiger faithful, salute Ian Kinsler.
Well, this is when you win batting titles. I remember Pete Rose used to always say that. Never giving up at bats. You get late into a game that looks one-sided. That at bat counts just the same as the at bat you had in the first inning in a 0-0 game.
You're right, and those guys that can do that, focus like that, end up having big numbers.
Here's Brian Holiday, first at bat. We talked about his average when we thought he was up earlier. 289, that squirts away, but jumping on it is Jimenez.
Sorry, Joe, just to finish that point, you're absolutely correct about the northern pitchers. You know, they really can't pitch competitively 12 months as you can in Florida, Texas, California. And that's what we're talking about. Not just throwing, but pitching competitively 12 months out of the year.
You know, the big thing is they play too much. You know, all year round baseball is not good. You got to take a break. Your body was not built to throw balls from up here all day long as hard as you can. And that's the big problem. You play some other sports, take some time off. And at the end of the day, we got all these crazy parents too that think their kid's going to be the next millionaire ball player. And you either have it or you don't. You grow into that or you don't. And keep forcing guys, that's when you limit their opportunity of becoming that great player. So let them enjoy the game. Let them be kids and play some other sports in the off season.
Here's a 2-1 pitch. Left side, off the bat for 1 out at second. They can't get the double play as Holiday gets down the line. A force out for out number 1 here in the 9th inning.
I think Kinsler might have messed Odor up because he didn't slide. He didn't peel off to the right. He cut in front of it to the left. And he's lucky he's a nice kid because he could have thrown that and drilled it.
I guess that's what you do in a 12-2 game, but I think he did surprise Odor that he didn't slide and he didn't peel.
I mean, peel off or slide in. You don't cut inside because that's where the arm angle is going to be at.
There's a little bit of a peel there, yeah. Maybe it was a little late for Odor.
Here's a strike in at the knees to Don Kelly. We showed you the graphic for those of you tuning in for the UFC 173 pre-fight show. We will get you there immediately at the end of this game. In the meantime, it's available on Fox Sports 2, streaming live on the Fox Sports Go app. Here's a ground ball right side. Moreland to the bag, 2 out. It's also at foxsportsgo.com. We're 1 out away from sending you there anyway. As Kelly grounds out, the batter will be Victor Martinez, who is in search of a 4-hit day. The DH will get a chance to step to the plate for the 5th time with his team down by 10.
I tell you what's going to keep Kinsler, Cabrera, and Martinez, and I think Torrey Hunter's going to get over that 300 mark locked in too, is they're going to be competing against each other. As you're going down the stretch, like you saw with Mattingly and Dave Winfield, it sharpens each other and it keeps you locked in. And you're not going to give away that bat. He just saw Ian get a hit. Hold it, time out. You're back above me. I'm locking in. I'm getting my knock. You know, so that's what's cool about this race.
Well, both now are at 333. Victor Martinez and Ian Kinsler. And you're right. You can guarantee, to go on what both of you have said in this inning, Victor Martinez not going to give this at bat away down by 10. He's a DH. These are his chances to chip in, and there's nothing that he's going to take off despite his team being out of the ball game as he's up on the count here 1-0. So Pareda is going to have to work for that last out, and he hits the outside part. 96 from Aaron Pareda. 1 ball, 1 strike.
1 ball hard. We got a chance to see a lot of different players today. A lot of prospects, players you might not have talked about.
Brought up a lot of topics. There's a strike, strike 2. I don't think I'm going quietly on the coaches wearing numbers thing. That'll be brought up again.
I'm buying in on that.
Yeah, you're winning me over on that.
It's pointless.
Yeah.
Plus, they get great numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, Wally Joyner's number 8. Osmus is number 7. Those are prime numbers.
These teams are trying to sell jerseys, and then when kids come up and they're good, they end up switching their jersey number to something else. Here's a 1-2. That's hooked foul. Still 1-2. Is
do you want to go the Connie Mack route? Put the managers in a 3-piece suit and a straw bowler?
Sure. Nice, something smart for the summer, like a nice light jogging suit or
seersucker.
Get them a nice
Zubas.
Clothing deal.
Zubas.
Fedora.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. And that got the mask off the face of Jimenez. And Victor Martinez remembers those days.
Yeah.
Former catcher. That'll wake you up at the end of a long day.
Wow.
So the count's still 1-2. Martinez, the switch hitter, not giving it away. A foul tip to stay up there. Again, it'll be the 4th game of this set tomorrow. Colby Lewis, a 1 o'clock local start, 3-3 against Justin Verlander, 5-3. And at worst, the Rangers, as banged up as they are in a week where they know they're without Prince Fielder the rest of the year and probably Jurickson and Profar the rest of the year, they are assured of coming out of here with, at worst, a split.
Well, I know this, Joe. The player development people for the Rangers, with all that's gone wrong this year, got to be happy today. The way Nick Martinez threw the ball and Rougned Odor, the show that he put on. 4 hits, 3 extra base hits, 5 RBIs.
Salas coming in, getting a chance to play, picking the ball, making his plays.
They're the two guys, the kids, 23 and 20 from left to right.
Look like wanted pictures.
Here's a 1-2 pitch.
Get this at bat. This is in a, what, 12-2 game, and he's had 2 strikes for most of the at bat. That's why he's so tough.
Toughest player to strike out in this league. Not Nick Martinez right there. Victor Martinez.
Hitting .349 with 2 strikes is Victor Martinez.
Wow.
.349 with 2 strikes at the start of the day. And now 2-2.
Just if you're going to walk him now. Just hold up 2 more fingers.
Now that would be something in a 10-run game. Now they want to talk about the signs. Well, Paredes not giving anything away either. He's trying to solidify his standing out in that bullpen. Good numbers or no, they're looking for answers out there as well. Look at the numbers with 2 strikes. 8 of Victor's 12 home runs have come with 2 strikes.
Well, that's just crazy. The average hitter is going to hit below 200 with 2 strikes.
Wow. It's great concentration. Again, hitting off that fastball and adjusting.
The 2-2 got him as Paredes wins that battle, and the Rangers win this game, a final of 12-2. For Ken Rosenthal, Tom Verducci, Harold Reynolds, our director Bill Webb, our producer Pete Macheska, and our editorial consultant Steve Horn. Joe Buck so long from Detroit. 12-2. Rangers have taken 2 of the first 3 of this series. Kevin Burkhardt and the guys coming up from the studio right now.